Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Hertfordshire woman's compensation hope, missing Luton dad makes contact with police, and fire service anger at Stevenage hoax call.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she will finally get compensation. Nikki Jones from St Albans has haemophilia and contracted hepatitis C after receiving treatment after an operation. More from Carol Abercrombie.
Nikki says she was given Factor VIII, a blood clotting agent from donated blood, which was contaminated when she had an operation to remove her tonsils in 1980. She was refused compensation in 2004 and is among a large group of people still campaigning. A report by Lord Penrose is due to be published later this month into cases in Scotland, which she hopes will eventually lead to payouts.
Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man. 22-year-old Kieran Carroll was last seen at about 2 p.m. on Tuesday with baby Louis on the CCTV of a Luton hotel. A man using a Facebook account in Mr Carroll's name sent a message to police saying he was fine. Bedfordshire Police replied saying they need to see the pair in person, adding it's not the role of the police to decide on child custody matters. The Crown Prosecution Service has said it was right not to charge a man who's been convicted in the US of plotting to blow up the Arndale shopping centre in Manchester. Abid Nazir was found guilty in New York of also planning to target other sites in Europe and the United States. He was extradited to the US in 2013. Downing Street has said David Cameron will take part in only one TV debate ahead of the general election, a 90-minute programme with 6 other party leaders before the end of this month. Number 10 has ruled out a head-to-head with Ed Miliband. Jack Blanchard from the Daily Mirror says Mr Cameron's move is not surprising.
The last thing he wants to do is go head-to-head with Ed Miliband in a one-to-one, an hour and a half, and let the public make their own minds up, because if you look at how the two leaders poll in head-to-head showings, David Cameron's obviously in front, so he would say he can only lose from that, and so he's done everything he can to avoid that situation.
Hertfordshire Fire Service say details of a hoax call to flats where 2 firefighters died have been passed to the police. 4 appliances were sent to Harrow Court in Stevenage last night after a caller claimed people were trapped. The Fire Service say despite the suspicions of the operator, they were obliged to treat the call as genuine. 2 firefighters died tackling a blaze at Harrow Court in 2005. The Planning Minister, Brandon Lewis, is in Milton Keynes today ahead of a referendum on a business neighbourhood plan. It's the first of its kind in the country and will provide a blueprint for development in MK over the next 15 years. The referendum will be held on the same day as the general election in May. In sport, Chelsea remain 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League after a 1-0 win at West Ham. Second place Manchester City beat Leicester 2-0. There were also wins for Manchester United, Arsenal and Liverpool. The weather, a frosty start, staying dry though with a mix of cloud and sunny spells. Maximum temperature 12 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Morning. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Flippin' heck, it's cold. Cold. Hey, who's had the worst breakfast this morning? I had a giant latte, a cookie, and a big bag of Revels. Catherine, can you beat that?
I had a coffee and a chocolate brioche, which sounds quite nice.
And Kelly, am I right for breakfast? You had Simon Oxley. Any truth in the rumours?
I can't deny those rumours.
Thank you so much. Denials are always accepted and appreciated here at BBC Three Counties Radio. If you want to phone up, tell us about your rubbish breakfast you've had. Or if you want to deny something. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
And controversy on the Facebook page yesterday as I threw out a subject that I said we were going to do. We're going to do it. But I also said we need to change the name. It was a WIP, a WIP. Kelly, what does that stand for? A work in progress. The title yesterday was Disabilities You Have that wouldn't get you a blue badge.
But we did illustrate the point by saying we were not being flippant about people who are seriously disabled. We were being silly about ourselves.
Kelly?
Is this on your own private Facebook?
This is on the BBC Three Counties Facebook page. There was controversy.
Has it been removed?
No.
There was controversy.
It's
no,
not on
no,
there
we didn't
now.
put that on the Facebook
It's one of the
page.
comments.
Someone heard it and
Anyway.
someone deliberately misheard it. I
The
think.
examples we gave were, I can't belch. Catherine?
Can't do cross eyes.
And Kelly?
Can't do that with my right hand.
She's doing the Vulcan greeting. So, disabilities you got that wouldn't get you a blue badge. I've thought about it overnight, and for all of you sensitive people out there, things you can't do that other people can. Not quite as catchy, your fault, not mine. Things you can't do that other people can. I suggest we get Justin out on it immediately, although I know he's on a very serious mission today.
Can we also say morning, Wendy? Because we know you'll be...
Morning, Wendy!
Morning, Wendy.
Justin is... well, I mean, I didn't have any respect for him at all. But what little respect I didn't have for him yesterday was blown away by the wind when a series of emails were sent to all of the BBC Three Counties breakfast crew. And Justin's talking about a panther. He's talking about a farmer whose one of his sheep has been attacked by the said panther, he says. Except, whoa, as Justin said in his email, he's not a farmer, he's just someone that's got lots of sheep. If only there was a word for someone who had lots of sheep. If only there was a word. No, guys, he's not a farmer. He's just someone that's got a lot of sheep.
Oh, a sheepman.
It's sheepman. That'll do. We'll call him a sheepman. And then Justin had a go at us for not taking the panther story seriously.
This is the Justin that had a pink panther and a gorilla wrestling in the background while someone told their honest-to-goodness story.
He's gone out in a blooming Gilbert O'Sullivan cap trying to chase this thing down. Hats off to Harry Nilsson this morning, guys. Call us with your Harry Nilsson stories. 08459. I'll give out the rest later on. That's called a tease. You're right, you're a bit tangled up there.
I'm doing it on purpose so it doesn't ping in my face.
Oh, I'm so sorry, my darling.
There's a strategy.
Let me strap it back down. That shouldn't be pinging in anybody's face. I can only apologise. Now.
He's talking about my headphone cable.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody.
Sure.
Okay.
St Albans, all the people that have a go at me on Twitter for being childish, just makes me want to be more childish. And that's quite childish in itself.
Yeah.
A St Albans woman who was given, this is a very serious story actually, a St Albans woman who was given contaminated blood hopes a report out later this month will finally mean she gets compensation. Nikki Jones has haemophilia. When she was 8, she was given Factor 8, a blood clotting agent which she believes gave her hepatitis C. The use of manufactured Factor 8 has been described by Lord Robert Winston as the worst disaster in NHS history. Catherine, you've got more on this. I'd never heard of this. Obviously, I've heard of haemophilia and hepatitis C. I'd never heard of this Factor 8. What is Robert Winston talking about when he says it's such a big disaster?
Well, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because I hadn't heard of it before, but thousands of people in the UK, many of them haemophiliacs, were infected when they were treated with these blood products, which were imported from the US in the 1970s and 80s. Now, there is a campaign group who's trying to raise awareness of this. It's called Contaminated Blood. And according to this group, blood products came from the US, where intravenous drug users, prostitutes and prison inmates were being paid to donate blood known to carry a high risk of infection.
Oh, guys. Anyone see the flaw in that plan? Wow.
A recent parliamentary report by a group of MPs said around 7,500 people were infected by these products. More than 2,000 patients are thought to have died as a result. Now, opening a debate in the Commons recently, the Conservative MP for North East Bedfordshire, who you'll be speaking to later on, Alistair Burt, said the scale of the disaster is immense.
This is the 15th biggest peacetime disaster in British history, in which the Black Death at 3.5 million is the worst, but the awful Aberfan, whose name we all know, is but the 142nd, with 144 lives lost. Contaminated blood has killed 12 times more.
Nikki Jones is the name of the person we mentioned earlier on. She's got hepatitis C, she believes, because of this Factor 8. We're going to talk to her later on. But briefly, give us sort of the background to her story.
Well, she believes she was one of these people who was infected in the 70s and 80s when she was a child. Her family say that she went from being a happy, active child to one that was always tired, spent a lot of time in bed and had skin rashes and just generally in poor health. The medical profession put it down to her age and psychological problems.
When did she find out that she had hepatitis C?
Well, not till pretty recent, actually. It wasn't until 1995 that she discovered she'd been tested for hepatitis C in 1991 and was positive, but she hadn't even been told that she'd been tested for it.
Blimey.
Hepatitis C is a virus that can infect and damage your liver, and when Nikki was pregnant with her second child, she had a letter through to say that she was at high risk for CJD because she'd received blood from people who had the degenerative brain disease. She's given no warning or discussion, just a letter out of the blue.
I'm surprised that she's not been awarded millions in compensation already. She's been struggling, hasn't she?
She really has. There are various funds that have been set up to help victims, such as the Skipton Fund. Now, Nikki says she applied for that, but was turned down on the grounds that she'd naturally cleared the virus. But medical experts disagreed, and they believe there's a strong link between what later transpired. She got breast cancer. And the medical experts have suggested that the hepatitis C may have been the cause of it, or a cause of it.
Yeah.
A recent report by a group of MPs highlights how most people with hepatitis C receive no ongoing payments, and they feel as though they have to beg for discretionary payments. And it recommends that payments to people infected through contaminated blood are at a level which lifts them out of poverty.
I don't know what that means, that sentence. It recommends that payments to people infected through OK, right, so they get a significant enough payment to make a difference.
Yeah.
Surely it seems obvious to me. If you've got hep C through your own lifestyle choice, well, then you should probably get treatment, but maybe not compensation. But if you've been given a medicine that comes from a flawed source and has given you the hep C, then, well, duh, of course you should get compensation, shouldn't you?
That's what the MPs are saying. A report by Lord Penrose is due to be published later this month, but that's into cases in Scotland. Now, Nikki Jones hopes that, if it goes their way in Scotland, maybe it'll have a trickle-down effect to people here in England.
I'm not saying this is the case in this situation, but do you ever get the feeling that they drag out some of these health cases so that most of the people are dead, so that it's a less payout? Well, those people that were affected by when we were testing nuclear bombs in the 50s on that island. And there were a load of people, have I got this right, were paid to stand on a ship a few miles out from this island to test the effects of standing a few miles out from an island while a nuclear bomb was dropped off. And hey, what a surprise, they all got cancer.
Well, also, you got the thalidomide case.
Yeah.
Still battling.
It's still battling. And that's when was thalidomide? 40 years ago? 50 years ago? Something like that. And you just kind of get the feeling that the governments and these companies are battling and battling until there's only a handful of people left, and then they can go, oh yeah, no, we'll of course we'll pay out, when really loads of people have suffered all their lives.
I was just really shocked by the scale of this. I had no idea this had happened. Thousands and thousands of people in the UK.
08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Speed sensors on the main routes of the M1 and the A1M all moving fine at the moment. It's looking quite quiet so far. In High Wycombe on the A40 Oxford Road, there's a lane closed for roadworks at Temple Street in both directions. That could cause some delays later on this morning. And if you're in London, the A40 Western Avenue is closed out of London from the RAF Northolt to the Hillingdon Circus. And in New Southgate on the North Circular Road, there's a lane blocked by an accident at Bounds Green Road. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. We're just doing our impressions of Ronnie Corbett here. Yeah, we said, go on, do it.
No, funny thing. The producer.
I was talking to the producer.
Kelly, go on, your turn. You do it. You do Ronnie Corbett.
Hello, yes, talking to the producer.
Do you know who Ronnie Corbett is?
Yes, I do.
Why don't you do his voice?
I can't do his voice. I can look like him, though.
Go on, then. Oh, yeah, she does, doesn't she? That was weird. Nice one, Kels. Well done. 6:16. It's Thursday, the 5th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she will finally get compensation. Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man. And Hertfordshire Fire Service say details of a hoax call in Stevenage last night to flats where 2 firefighters died in 2005 have been passed to the police.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Every weekday from 12, local people.
Wendy Howson and David Shipley are trustees of the Harpenden charity Spotlight on Africa.
So privileged to see lives change, conditions change.
Local stories.
A deaf cafe will be popping up in Bedford later this month, opening its doors for you to share sensitive stories and talk of afterlife.
There are people with the similar concerns. And you can have a light-hearted side of it as well, and we often end like that, you know.
Local life.
We're going to be heading off into the unassuming countryside of Bedfordshire.
We all know the brick pits and the industrial spoil that's marked the Marston Vale.
Nick Coffer, weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Kiss my who?
I used to wake up in the morning, I used to feel so bad. I got so sick of having sleepless nights, I went and told my dad. He said, son, now here's some little something, and stuck them on my wall. And now my nights ain't quite so lonely. In fact, I don't feel bad at all. I don't feel bad at all. Pictures of Lily made my life so wonderful. Pictures of Lily helped me sleep at night. Pictures of Lily solved my childhood problem. Pictures of Lily helped me feel alright. Pictures of Lily, Lily, oh Lily, Lily, oh Lily, pictures of Lily. And then one day things weren't quite so fine. I fell in love with Lily. I asked my dad when Lily I could find. He said, son, now don't be silly. She's been dead since 1929. Oh, how I cried that night.
You all right?
Yes!
We're making that noise for
Harmonies.
Oh.
Justin.
Hey, good morning, boss.
Kath didn't know what that song was about.
Pictures of Lily.
Oh, you don't know what that song's about, do you?
No, go on.
No,
What?
I can't really.
Kelly, you know what that song's about.
I do, yeah.
Do you not know what that song's about, Justin?
No, what's it about?
Flipping
Come on,
heck.
tell me.
No,
Come on.
I'm not going to tell you, mate.
Come on.
Do you know what turning Japanese is about?
No, it's not about that.
Yes, it
no,
is.
No,
Yes,
it's
it
not.
is.
No, I've spoken to somebody from the band. You're wrong.
No.
You're wrong.
No, well, you're wrong.
No, well, how can the people who wrote the song be wrong?
No, sorry. Did you speak to someone from the band or someone who wrote the song, Justin?
I can't quite remember, but
Paper Thin. Paper Thin.
It's not about what you think it's about.
Well, Pictures of Lily is.
Oh.
You see?
When I think about you, I touch myself. Whoa, I don't want anybody else. Oh, when I think about you, I touch myself. I touch myself. Yeah. Anybody else? Oh no, oh no, oh no.
This is a conversation you should be having with Justin off air.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually.
Yeah, after 9, yeah.
Now, listen, this is Have a Go Heroes. When a pair of knife-wielding robbers targeted a shop in Bedfordshire, they thought it was going to be easy pickings, but they didn't know the shopkeepers were armed, Justin.
Yes.
With a plastic cricket bat.
I know.
You've been to meet... It's Christopher Edwards and Ralph Kahn, is it, in Slip End?
That's
what
right.
What happened?
I've been to meet Christopher. Christopher is 59 years old. He's a very, very quiet man. And I think looking back at the images on the CCTV, he can't quite believe what he did. This happened at 6:30 last Sunday, Slip End, Luton. Christopher explained what happened.
It was about 6:30 in the evening. We were doing some work on the ice cream fridge, and I heard the buzzer go. I just looked round, and then there's a guy was standing there with a knife pointing it at me. And then I saw the guy behind the counter, so I just ran at the counter and tried to grab him to stop him doing what he was doing.
Instinctive, just like that.
Yep. Didn't even think about it at the time.
I mean, what's your message to anybody who thinks they can come into your shop and steal from you?
Well, I tell them not to bother trying, because they know now that we won't let it happen.
What did the other gentleman, Ralph Kahn, do?
Mr. Kahn, and I've seen the cricket bat. I've got a picture of this cricket bat. It's a cricket bat that I would think a 3-year-old child would play with. Oh. He's picked up this plastic cricket bat and he has chased a man with a 6-inch knife out of his shop. Again, watching the images on CCTV, it's like something out of those TV shows in America.
Which ones?
The most terrifying... not those ones, but...
Dynasty?
You know those programmes, Most Dangerous, Most Terrifying? He literally got hold of a plastic cricket bat and chased a man out of his shop who had a knife. Incredible stuff.
Were these fellas not scared?
Well, Christopher, as I mentioned, he's 59 years old. He said it was instinctive. I put that question to him. Was he scared?
No, not at the time. I just went for it. But afterwards, I was shaking like a leaf. The adrenaline had actually kicked in for about an hour or so.
And talking about it now, we came in the shop. We were quite relaxed in our conversation. Now we're talking about the details. Again, you're starting to change. You're almost shaking now, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It's just bringing it all back.
But it hasn't put you off. You will continue to work in this shop.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely. This is my life. So that's it.
You're like a therapist, Justin, a counsellor, if you will, a spiritual guru.
Yeah.
This wasn't the only incident on that day, was it? There were a few other things happening elsewhere.
Yeah, that's right. Following the incident at Slip End, the superstore there on Sunday evening, there was an attempted robbery. This was about an hour later. It was a shop on Wellington Street in Luton, so just a few minutes away. 2 men again. They threatened an employee with a large knife. They left the shop empty-handed, though, and at 8 p.m, 2 men again in masks this time. They entered a shop on the high street at Kensworth. They demanded money. Again, they had a knife. They left with about £400, some alcohol and cigarettes. The police think that these robberies could all be connected, all three together, of course, on the same evening, and they're appealing for witnesses to contact them or to ring Crime Stoppers.
Justin,
yes.
Things you can't do that other people can do. I can't burp. Catherine, what can't you do?
I can't burp on demand, no. I can't cross my eyes.
Kelly, you can't do the Mr. Spock Vulcan thing with both hands.
Yeah, I also can't whistle or reach things.
Okay, fair play. Okay, that's a long list. Justin, anything you can't do that other people can?
Well, I think I said this to you
yesterday.
Modest? Yeah. I can't whistle properly.
Yeah.
And it really, really gets to me.
Could you take it to?
It gets to you.
Why does it
I'll
get to
tell
you?
you why it gets to me, because there have been cases in my life where there's been a really attractive woman walking down the street, and I would love to respect her by giving her a wolf whistle, but I just can't do it.
Could you take it to the streets, Just?
Of course I can.
One final thing.
Yeah.
Where would you put the lime?
What?
Come on, you know this.
Where would you put the lime?
I've got no idea what you're talking about, honestly.
You put it in the coconut.
Brother bought a coconut, he bought it for the time. His sister had another one, she paid it for the lime. She put the lime in the coconut, she drank and poured up. She put the lime in the coconut, she drank and poured up. She put the lime in the coconut, she drank and poured up. She put the lime in the coconut, she called the doctor, woke him up and said, Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, Doctor, to relieve his bellyache. I said, Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, Doctor, to relieve his bellyache. Now let me get this straight. Put the lime in the coconut, you drank and poured up. Put the lime in the coconut, you drank and poured up. Put the lime in the coconut, you drank and poured up. Put the lime in the coconut, you called your doctor, woke him up, said, Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, Doctor, to relieve his bellyache. I said, Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, Doctor, to relieve his bellyache. You put the lime in the coconut, you drink them both together. Put the lime in the coconut and you feel better. Put the lime in the coconut, drink them both up. Put the lime in the coconut and call me in the morning. Brother bought a coconut, he bought it for the time. His sister had another one, she paid for the lime. She put the lime in the coconut, she drank and poured up. And put the lime in the coconut, she called it Dr. Coconut. She said, Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, Doctor, this bellyache. I said, Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, Doctor, now let me get this straight. You put the lime in the coconut, you drink and pour up. Put the lime in the coconut, you drink and pour up. Put a lime in the coconut, you drink and pour up. Put the lime in the coconut, you're such a silly woman. Put a lime in the coconut and drink them both together. Put the lime in the coconut, then you feel better. Put the lime in the coconut, drink them both down. Put the lime in the coconut and call me in the morning. Woo, ain't there nothing you can take? I say woo, to relieve your bellyache. You say well woo, ain't there nothing I can take? I say woo, to relieve your bellyache. You say yeah, ain't there nothing I can take? I say woo, to relieve his bellyache. I say Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I say Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I say Doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I say Doctor, you're such a silly woman. Put the lime coconut.
He's furious with her.
Such a silly woman.
You're such a You put the lime in the coconut. Everybody knows that.
Drink 'em both.
Put the lime in the coconut. You drink them both up.
Call me in the morning.
I think this is where they got the idea for King Julian from for the penguins in Madagascar. 08459 455 555. Where would you put the lime?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 anti-clockwise is starting to build up between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. On the A40 Western Avenue out of London at North Holt, there's been a serious accident between RAF North Holt and the Hillending Circus. That's closed and it's causing delays out of town from the Target roundabouts. In New Southgate on the North Circular Road, there's a lane blocked by an accident between Browns Green Road and Fry and Barnet. And in Hertford on Ware Road, there's roadworks going on at Cromwell Road. That's looking fine at the moment, but that could cause some delays later on. Checking the speed sensors on the A41 in Aylesbury on the roadworks at the junction for New Road. That's looking fine as well, and no major delays reported at the moment on the trains. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she will finally get compensation. Nikki Jones from St Albans has haemophilia and contracted hepatitis C after receiving treatment after an operation. Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man on Facebook. David Cameron has agreed to take part in just one televised leaders' debate before the election, and Hertfordshire Fire Service say details of a hoax call to flats where 2 firefighters died in 2005 have been passed to the police. 4 appliances were sent to Harrow Court in Stevenage last night after a caller claimed people were trapped.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Chelsea remain 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League after a 1-0 win at West Ham. Here's manager Jose Mourinho.
My players were brilliant after a final where it's not just to play football, it's also the pressure, it's also the tension, it's also the emotion. The players were fantastic because we couldn't kill the game. You can't win here, so I think these 3 points are massive for us.
Second place Manchester City beat Leicester 2-0. Arsenal were 2-1 winners at QPR. Manchester United won 1-0 at Newcastle with a late goal from Ashley Young, although the headlines this morning are about Papi Cisse and Johnny Evans apparently spitting at each other. Tottenham beat Swansea 3-2. The Swansea striker Bafétimbi Gomez says he's fine after fainting on the pitch in the opening minutes at the same ground where Fabrice Muamba collapsed. Swansea manager Gary Monk said Gomez wanted to play on.
He's gone to hospital for just precautionary reasons, but he's fine coming off the pitch there. He was talking more than fine, and obviously Baffy's history and everything like that is quite normal for himself, so no, he's fine.
Liverpool are back to 5th after a 2-0 win over Burnley, and Stoke beat Everton 2-0. Watford have extended midfielder Ben Watson's contract until 2017 with an option for a further year. The 29-year-old joined the Hornets in January for an undisclosed fee. Watford remain 3rd in the Championship after Norwich lost 1-0 at home to Wigan last night. Wycombe have appealed against the red card shown to substitute Matt McClure in the win at Tranmere on Tuesday night, just 70 seconds after he came off the bench. And a strong Luton development side lost on penalties to Biggleswade in the semi-finals of the Beds Senior Cup last night. Biggleswade will meet Barton Rovers at Kenilworth Road in the final in May. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
This is what it is, and we are so good because we are. We're like your lucky...
Keep saying it might become true.
We're like your lucky pants, Kels. I'm like your lucky pants. I've seen better days. Hey, that's not bad, is it?
Yeah. It's a bit bad.
Let's have a little look through the newspapers.
Let's.
Catherine, any of the stories grabbed you today?
What are you doing that for?
I just think that I have taken on board some of the criticism from the people on Facebook and Twitter who say I'm too childish talking about willies and bums.
Hang on, this is from the same person who knew what star sign you were 6 months ago, but now doesn't like you.
Doesn't matter. Every criticism is valid. And
what are you talking like that for?
Because I'm just thinking, I want to...
what are you waving your hand about for?
I'm trying to inject some gravitas into the newspaper review.
Okay.
And I would really appreciate it if you would let me know some of the stories that are making the papers this morning.
Bloke's been done for stamping on a pigeon.
Now, I can't believe this bloke's been done. Read the story. Sorry. I can't believe this bloke's been done. Give us the background to the story.
It's in the Daily Mirror. A jobless man stamped to death a pigeon. Stop it. Serious. Stamped to death a pigeon because it had pecked crumbs that had fallen from his hot dog.
Don't worry, guys.
Detail that we need.
Don't worry, guys. We've tweeted the weather from the BBC Three Counties Twitter feed.
So the weather can go ahead.
Yeah.
Jeremy Whale pinned the hapless...
James Whale did what?
He looks a bit like... No. Jeremy Whale...
James Whale.
Pinned the hapless bird... I mean, I think the bird's more than hapless. I think it was...
He pinned him down.
A hapless bird's winged to the pavement in a busy city centre so it couldn't fly off, a court heard. Wow.
Why did this go to court?
A distressed couple then confronted Whale and called him nasty. the court was told.
This went to court!
But as shoppers looked on, Whale muttered vermin and crushed the animal under his foot.
And?
Whale, 48, in case you were wondering, had been eating the snack in Exeter on Valentine's Day, in case you were wondering.
Romantic.
His lawyer, Catherine Todd, told the city's Crown Court. She added her client has a phobia of birds.
Skip to the end. What happened to this fella?
She said a group of pigeons came round, and as he walked towards them, they flew away, but one remained. He accepted he stamped on it. He said he had a phobia of birds. He doesn't like pigeons. Rather than like seeing a spider on the floor, he stamped on it. It was wholly unacceptable, and most people would not contemplate doing it. This was a terrible, terrible error of judgment. He did not set out to upset anybody.
What happened to Mr. Whale?
12-month conditional discharge after he admitted intentionally killing a wild bird.
Oh, shut up.
They're not yours to kill.
Oh, no, shut
They're not
up.
yours to kill.
First of all, this went to court. Oh, that is ridiculous. What a waste of time and money, OK? And no wonder people are getting radicalised when they see things like this happening. So this went to court. If that had been a rat, would it have gone to court? No. We should go around stamping on rats' heads. Pigeons are rats with wings. That's all they are. They're scum. They're the scum of the bird world. Them and robins are scum.
You can't go stamping on wildlife.
A pigeon isn't wildlife, mate. A pigeon is a flipping pigeon. It is scum.
Pigeons have feelings too, you know.
Yeah, I know.
All they wanted was a bit of hot dog. Is that too much to ask?
Supposing it had been a... Oh. She makes a good point. Supposing
Imagine you hadn't had a hot dog for ages, maybe in your entire life, and a little crumb came down and you thought, oh, I'll have a little snuffle of that. You don't expect to have your wing pinned down and your body stamped on.
She's making a really good point, but I've got to come back. Here it comes. But if it had been a rat... Stamp on a rat.
Rats just doing what rats do.
08459 455 555. Seriously? Pigeons are scum, aren't they? Whoa. Hey. I'm going to take my trousers off and dance.
No, don't.
Yeah.
It's like killing a bee with a bazooka.
I do it in head. I do it in head.
That's usually it.
Go away.
Amazing me this morning. Dealey didn't know what Pictures of Lily was about. Kelly, what did you just tell me?
I didn't realise that The Sunshine of Your Love by Spanky Wilson was written by Eric Clapton.
Yeah, it's a Cream song. That's why we're playing Cream. Right. And then what did... Oh, sorry, he's not finished.
That looks quite like you. She didn't have the time to wait.
So, and then what did you say to me, Catherine, that has blown my tiny?
What about Cameron Diaz?
This is incredible.
No, and Cameron Diaz is an attractive woman, but
it's not what you said, mate.
No, but if you break her face down, and I'm not suggesting anyone do this.
Break her face down.
She's a bit of a minger.
Don't break her face down, please.
You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
She's got a letterbox mouth, broken nose, and tiny little eyes. But altogether, it's a beautiful package.
That's not what you said. You showed me a picture of Cameron.
I said, yeah, she's attractive, but if you break her face down,
she's
a minger.
You didn't mention anything about physically assaulting her. You showed me a picture of Ms Diaz, and
it's
you said...
It's not a very good picture, mind.
You showed me a picture of Ms Diaz, and you said, oh, she's a minger. And I went, no, she's not. She's hot. She's got a really cheeky little ambience about her face. A little ambience. How can you say Cameron Diaz is a minger?
She is a bit.
I don't normally like the Hollywood types. I tell you who I've got a mad crush on.
Rita Ora.
No. Well, I mean, that's not... No, that's not crush, that's love. I've got a mad crush on the Australian. Who's the Australian?
Crocodile Dundee?
No, the other one.
Alf?
I was sending you the name Russell Crowe. No,
Oh, I know.
The pretty lady. She's in Paddington.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. Not my type at all. And then I was watching a film with her in one day, and throughout the... it's a film where the world gets taken over by zombies or something. Throughout the film... By the end of the film, I'd gone from not liking her to actually... I'd fallen in love with her. I'd fell in love with Nicole Kidman.
No.
I'm in love with her, that woman. It's like nuts. Because it can never be.
No.
It can never be.
Hugging like that would be like caressing a xylophone.
Whoa, I don't know what that means, but I
It'd make
love...
a clunking noise.
Ooh.
She's so bony.
Bones. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 towards London, it's starting to look very slow around junction 9 for Redbourne, and the M25 anti-clockwise is slow from junction 21 for the M1 towards junction 19 for Watford. In Northolt on the A40 Western Avenue, that's been closed out of London between the RAF Northolt and the Hillingdon Circus. It's causing queues from the Greenford flyover, and in New Southgate, the North Circular Road has a lane blocked by an accident between Bounds Green Road, and that's causing delays eastbound from Fry and Barnet. Looking at the speed sensors in Milton Keynes, and it's looking fine on the A421 Standing Way, but there's roadworks around the Kingston roundabout, so expect delays as it starts to get busier. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 6:45. It's Thursday the 5th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she finally gets compensation. Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man on Facebook. I don't believe my eyes. Can you see what it says on that screen?
I can see it, but I don't believe it.
Kelly. What you have just typed cannot be true.
It's true.
Rizzini's back?
She's back.
She got released?
Yes.
This is insania!
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you.
Very good morning to
thanks.
you, Elizabeth Rizzini. It's marvellous to have you back. At last, we might get some accurate weather.
Oh, you're so kind.
The charlatans and chancers we've had on while you've been away have been absolutely... I don't think I'm exaggerating, am I, Catherine?
No.
They've been bloody awful.
Shoddy.
Oh, lazy, foul language. You can hear one of them, I think it's Kate, you can hear her puffing away on a cigarette. Elizabeth, it's great to have a professional, trained weather forecaster back in the guise of the beautiful, the delectable. It shouldn't matter as we're all equal, but let's be honest, we're not. Elizabeth Rizzini. Over to you, Elizabeth. Look forward to this.
Come on now, Ian. I've just fallen off my chair, actually. I need a course in how to sit on a chair again, I think, after maternity leave. It's terrible.
Sorry, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Little bit less of the chat. If you could just get straight into the weather.
Straight into the weather.
If you don't mind, because...
Well, it's an easy day of weather for me.
Thank you.
That's good. Yeah, for the simple ones among us. It is it's going to be a dry day. It'll be quite cloudy despite the sunny start. It's also quite a chilly start. We've got some pockets of frost around, but generally we've got some milder air coming in on that southwesterly breeze. So temperatures picking up by the afternoon up to 10 or even 11 degrees, possibly 52 in Fahrenheit. Some sunshine through the morning, turning cloudy into the afternoon. Overnight tonight, dry, cloudy, milder than last night. Lows of 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, very similar looking day, but there will be quite a lot of cloud. Temperatures picking up a notch or so. So we're up to 11 degrees again tomorrow. And then we could be looking at temperatures into the mid-teens by the time we get to the weekend. But again, quite a lot of cloud. Don't get too excited. That's the forecast.
Yeah. How long are you back for, Elizabeth?
Oh, I think I'm back forever and ever.
You're not thinking of having any more kids or anything?
I don't think so. No.
So we will have you every day, will we?
My bit.
Yeah, we'll have you every day.
Right? All right. Don't worry. I'll get better.
Not as good as I remember. Thanks.
Two of Britain's most senior parliamentarians have vigorously denied any wrongdoing.
The biggest news stories mean different things to different people.
HSBC has described 2014 as a challenging year after reporting a 17% drop in its annual profits.
To us, the biggest stories are what's happening right here in Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
A cancer charity based in Stevenage says they won't give up even though £5,000 worth of stock was stolen.
My little collection tins, that's all gone.
Every day, we bring you the things that matter most to you.
With news bulletins throughout the day.
A memorial outside Luton Police Station for Leon Briggs could be removed.
In-depth discussions.
She's proved to the nation that she's actually a human being. She's not an automaton.
And online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Local news.
When and where it happens.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Let's do a couple of stories. We'll then get BBC Introducing out of the way. I don't mean it like it sounds. And then we'll see if we can speak to Justin Dealey. Don't bite your fingernails.
I'm not.
Your finger was in your mouth and you were biting.
Let me tell you something. I went for my guitar lesson yesterday.
I want to tell you a story.
I went for my guitar lesson yesterday, and my fingers are rather tender. Just the ends. This is fine. This hand's fine. This hand... suffering.
She showed me the right hand, then the left hand, Your Honour.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't bite your fingernails, mate.
Hurts. 1 in 5 people has lied about seeing a TV show to fit in with workplace gossip.
I thought you were going to do the story about the toilet. You've been.
Why would I do that?
You've been talking to me non-stop during the records about a blooming toilet.
Did you not read Wendy's comments yesterday? I'm trying to lift us out of the mire.
All right, go on then. Go on.
A toilet powering its own lights from wee collected in fuel cells has been developed by the University of West of England and Oxfam. That's going to be really useful. Because, people might not have money or electricity or wiring, but you've always got wee.
Yeah. OK.
1 in 5 people has lied about seeing a TV show to fit in with workplace gossip, research reveals.
That's brilliant.
Employees fake their way through conversations rather than be left out, a poll of 2,000 liars found. Women are more liable to feel out on a limb, but men are more likely to pretend to have watched a show. Sky Atlantic said that.
I have done that in the past. I don't do it now, but I've done that in the past. Did you see such and such? Yeah. It's good, wasn't it? Oh, it's blinding.
The thing is, though, if you say, no, I haven't, they'll still tell you what happened. So
Sometimes it speeds things up. Oh, blinding.
it depends how much talking you want to do in the conversation. I quite like to, I quite like sometimes the conversations where you go, oh, right, yeah, I'll give it a watch, and then let them go. And other times I feel a bit talk heavy and I want to get involved, and I will pretend.
Hitler's back?
Yeah, in dog form.
No, there are 3 Hitler stories in one newspaper today.
Really?
First one, dog that looks like Hitler.
It's a white dog with a black...
No, he's got a little black tash and he's got the side swipe of the hair. He does look a lot like Hitler. And
Is he a massive racist?
Yeah, he shares the same views.
Doesn't like cats.
No. That's one Hitler story. Another Hitler story is a copy of a Hitler book sold for £23,000.
Who's buying that?
Well, the third Hitler story, no connection. There's a brilliant picture of Nigel Farage in one of the papers.
Oh.
I mean, it's tenuous.
Are they allowed to do this?
It's tenuous. I think it's in the Mirror, is it? Look at that picture of Farage and where the microphone's placed.
Oh, I've seen that before. That's really old.
It's
Why are they doing this now? It's like we're in a run-up to an election.
It is. I'm finding, whatever my politics may be, I'm finding a lot of the attacks on Nigel Farage actually quite lazy. There was the one the other day, the Chelsea fan who'd been racist to the black fella in France. Like 2 days later, there was a picture of him. Steve was a big fan of Nigel Farage. There was a picture of him with Nigel Farage. I thought, and it was in The Guardian, I thought, that's a bit tenuous. That's a bit tenuous to try and link Farage with that.
Well, and this picture is months and months old.
All right, mate. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Kels!
Yes!
Judgment Day?
Yes.
Stealth? Which is the band? Which is the title? Is this one any good?
The band is a one-man. His name is Stealth.
What's his real name?
Sean.
Oh, OK.
The song is called Judgment Day.
Sean, why are you calling yourself Stealth? Put your name Sean on the records. Mum, my name is Stealth, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Do you want to know how he got that name?
He was having a stealthy little
Greek.
Sneak around for some biscuits.
No. He looked a bit Greek, apparently, when he was younger, so they called him Stelios, and then it just got shortened to Stealth, and then his management were like, oh, no, I like that, let's go with it.
Well, should we have a listen to the tune?
Let's have a listen.
OK. Dramatic start. Like the beginning to Two Tribes by Frankie. Song that used to terrify me.
I can feel the floor shaking and the glass begin to break. The air is getting thinner with every breath that I take. The calm before the storm, you could hear the drop of a pin. Never been claustrophobic, but now the walls are closing in. I've crossed every line, broken every boundary. And now it's retribution time, 'cause the church that I went to, it ain't that holy. So strike me down, take me away. Debt to do, it's time to pay. Face what I deserve. Here comes judgment day. I won't run, the guilt is mine. Too long denied all my crimes. Face what I deserve. Here comes judgment day. All the love I have taken, all the hearts I've turned to hate. Hearts are easily broken when you've been made in the shade. I've crossed every line, broken every boundary. Now it's retribution time, 'cause the church that I went to, it ain't that holy. Strike me down, take me away. Debts to do, it's time to pay. Face what I deserve. Here comes judgment day. I won't run, the guilt is mine. Too long denying all my
12th, Judgment Day. BBC introducing Kelly Betts.
Yes.
8 o'clock Saturdays.
Yes.
The thing is, other Saturdays on it.
No.
Remember, Gary Barlow. Get this, Just. Gary Barlow and the Beatles were once unknown.
Yeah, absolutely. Very true fact.
That show is kind of like My Lucky Pants. A bit skiddy. Now, Justin, Kelly, excellent stuff. Thank you as always. Kelly puts a lot of work into BBC Introducing Show, and it's a thoroughly decent listen. The one time I listened to it, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
Good, I'm glad.
Justin.
So cheeky today.
Bad news. Speaking of cheeks, bad news.
Go on.
You know and I'm not going to say what it is, but I've just had a very detailed conversation with my good friend and colleague, Catherine Boyle. You know the medical condition that both you and I have experienced in the past, the very painful one?
Yes.
Got it again. Got the AF. I got the Tony Fishers.
Ditto 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
something in the water.
I don't want to get it sewn up.
No.
What do you do? I've been putting Savlon on it.
Don't pick it.
Go to the docks.
Really?
Yeah, I'll give you a cream.
Thank you very much indeed. Time to go to the docks and get a cream.
Yeah.
Justin.
Yes, boss.
Things you can't do that other people can do. I can't go to the toilet without a lot of pain.
Yes.
That's another thing. You've taken this to the streets, man. I really appreciate your help on this one.
Absolute pleasure. Here's some thoughts to get you on your way, boss.
Can I borrow some of your cream?
Yeah, no props.
Thank you.
Can't burp neither. I have an infection in the throat at the minute.
What else can't you do? There's got to be something else you can't do.
Can't dance. Can't dance neither.
You probably can, but you just dance badly.
I dance badly then, yeah.
What can't you do?
I can't wee like a man.
I can't whistle, yeah. Honest.
Come on, try.
Yeah, no, go on.
Come on, boss, try. Come on, do it for me.
Oh, sorry.
Justin, excellent stuff.
Pleasure.
Can I send you out? I don't know if you heard the story about the gentleman that done kill a pigeon. Pigeon are scum, aren't they?
To the majority of people, yes, but I'm sure there's somebody out there right now who absolutely loves pigeons. One person.
Now, do you want pigeons or panthers? Because you can't have both.
I tell you what, pigeons today, panthers, the full detailed report with the facts tomorrow.
So we're not having panthers today, because I know you've been banging on about it. You've been getting your knickers in a bit of a twist.
Well, yeah, because there's a panther. Well, we think there could be a black panther on the loose in Bedfordshire. Guys, leave the evidence to me. I shall report back tomorrow.
Justin, thank you.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 northbound, there's reports that a lane's been blocked at junction 16 for Daventry because of a breakdown. And southbound on the M1, it's starting to look slow on the speed sensors from junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road towards junction 9 for Redbourne. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's slow between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. And in London and Northolt, the A40 Western Avenue is still closed out of London between RAF Northolt and the Hillingdon Circus with delays from the Greenford flyover. But now it's starting to look very slow in the opposite direction into London through that stretch because of people slowing down to look. In High Wycombe on the speed sensors, the A404 Marlow Hill is moving fine through the roadworks. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Go on, sling your hook. What can't you do that other people can do? And, pigeons. I mean, we don't like them, do we? Do we? Here's Simon with the news.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. The headlines: Hertfordshire woman's compensation hope, missing Luton dad contacts police, and fire service anger at Stevenage hoax call.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she will finally get compensation. Nikki Jones from St Albans has haemophilia and contracted hepatitis C after receiving treatment after an operation. More from Carol Abercrombie.
Nikki says she was given Factor VIII, a blood clotting agent from donated blood, which was contaminated when she had an operation to remove her tonsils in 1980. She was refused compensation in 2004 and is among a large group of people still campaigning. A report by Lord Penrose is due to be published later this month into cases in Scotland, which she hopes will eventually lead to payouts.
Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man. 22-year-old Kieran Carroll was last seen at about 2 p.m. on Tuesday with baby Louis on the CCTV of a Luton hotel. A man using a Facebook account in Mr Carroll's name sent a message to police saying he was fine. Bedfordshire Police replied saying they need to see the pair in person, adding it's not the role of the police to decide on child custody matters. The Crown Prosecution Service has said there was insufficient evidence for a prosecution in this country of a man who's been found guilty of terror charges in the United States. Abid Nazir was convicted yesterday of involvement in a plot to blow up targets, including a shopping centre in Manchester. He was extradited from the UK to the USA in 2013. David Cameron has made what Downing Street is calling a final offer to broadcasters by agreeing to take part in just one televised leaders' debate before the election. The broadcasters, who'd been hoping to stage 3 debates with the Prime Minister, have yet to respond. Here's Robin Brandt.
David Cameron's Director of Communications said the Prime Minister would only appear in one debate. It must be with at least 6 other party leaders and possibly the Democratic Unionist Party. It could last 90 minutes and it must take place before the 30th of March. So a debate with Mr Cameron alongside the leaders of Labour, the Liberal Democrats, UKIP, the Greens, Plaid Cymru and the SNP may happen. But the Cameron-Miliband head-to-head is off.
Hertfordshire Fire Service say details of a hoax call to flats where 2 firefighters died have been passed to the police. 4 appliances were sent to Harrow Court in Stevenage last night after a caller claimed people were trapped. The Fire Service say despite the suspicions of the operator, they were obliged to treat the call as genuine. 2 firefighters died tackling a blaze at Harrow Court in 2005. In sport, Chelsea remain 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League after a 1-0 win at West Ham. Second place Manchester City beat Leicester 2-0. There were also wins last night for Manchester United, Arsenal and Liverpool. The weather, a frosty start, staying dry with a mix of cloud and sunny spells, a maximum temperature 12 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Busy show this morning. Speaking to Nikki Jones in a bit. Who's she? Well, she claims she got hepatitis C from a contaminated blood substitute nutrient. It's a weird one. We'll find out her story in a bit. Also, what can't you do that other people can do? It was the thing that we were touting yesterday as disabilities that wouldn't get you a blue badge.
Someone
there was a furore.
Made a bit of mischief about
There was a furore, and boy, oh boy, oh boy. And also, pigeons. Have you deliberately spelt pigeons?
Yeah, I was going to put pidge.
OK, mate, thank you.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
There was something else as well, and I'm stuffed if I can think of it. Grumpy Jamie's on the line. Good morning, Grumpy Jamie.
Morning, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. I'm a little bit surprised, Grumps, that, well, you were touting for work this morning. Yeah. Did you see this, Catherine?
No.
He sent us a cheeky little tweet asking if he could come and work on the show because he makes a good cup of tea.
OK, that's one qualification.
There you go.
How are you at laughing at really rubbish jokes?
Easy.
Oh.
All right, then. OK, I'm not going to do the whole joke. I can't be bothered. I'll just do the punchline and let's hear you go. No, use your finger like everyone else.
No, we'll leave that one.
Blimey, well, you can't be part of the posse if you're not going to be a sycophant. Pigeons, Jamie.
Yeah, we was in Bath at the weekend.
Yes.
And just as you come out the Roman baths, there's a guy on the corner who just stands there with all the pigeons all over him. It's a bit like the scene out of Home Alone where Brenda Fricker stood in the park.
Yes.
He was exactly the same. He just stood there and they were just pooping on his hat and his shoulders. It was disgusting.
That pigeon, listen, this
You sound disgusted.
Well, it's disgusting.
It is.
Can you imagine? Can you believe this guy? All he did was stamp on the head of one, and he got taken to court.
No, he pinned it down first and then stamped on it. I mean, that must have made a heck of a crunch.
They are vermin, I must admit.
They're rats with wings.
Yes.
Jamie, it's really filling 3 minutes of the show talking to you this morning.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Not sure for whom. 08459 455 555. Have you got any texts, Catherine, before I crack on?
Crack on, and I'll tell you after.
All right, thank you. Oh, crack on in that case. Now, a Hertfordshire haemophiliac is hoping a report out later this month will mean that she finally gets compensation for being given contaminated blood as a child. Nikki Jones is from St Albans and joins me now. Morning, Nikki.
Morning.
First of all, I'm going to ask a really silly question. I don't know a lot about haemophilia.
OK.
You've always had it from being a baby, have you? Or you don't develop it later in life, do you?
I think some can.
Oh,
some
really?
Can, but majority are born.
And so were you born with it?
I was born with it and wasn't diagnosed till 1977.
Oh, blimey.
My dad's a haemophiliac. It is unusual for girls because it's predominantly a male bleeding disorder.
And it's where you don't stop bleeding, is it? If you were to cut yourself, is it as simple as that?
It's you bleed longer.
Right.
You don't bleed any sort of loads more. It just means that any wounds take longer to heal because we're lacking or missing the factor VIII that helps clot the blood.
That must be tough. Obviously your dad had experience with it, but it must have been tough as a kid. I've got two little boys, and they're always bleeding. They're always getting into scrapes and things. So as a kid, that must have been really hard work for you and your family.
Yes, it was. So any head injuries, joint problems, we would have to have treatment. It's usually worse in boys, which it is in my son.
Right.
So nosebleeds, as you say, as they're growing up, they want to play football.
Yeah.
So
constantly scrapes and scratches.
Yeah.
So this, you think, happened when you were 8 years old, and you were having your tonsils removed, were you?
That's right. Yeah, I was having a tonsillectomy in 1980, and prior to that, treatment I had was called cryocypricate.
What's that?
That's the clotting factor.
Okay.
8. And in 1980, they changed it to factor VIII, which was cheaper.
So factor VIII is, what do they do? Do they inject it, or do they put it in intravenous and it helps your blood thicken?
That's correct, yeah. It helps the blood clot.
Right.
So...
OK.
So, yeah.
And so you had this going into you while you were having your tonsils taken out, because obviously that's quite a bloody procedure.
Yes, yeah.
And this factor VIII, it later transpired, a lot of it came from drug users, prostitutes, prisoners who'd been paid to give their blood. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah, from borstalls, prisons, both in the UK and America.
I'm laughing because that's obviously such a bad idea. That just seems nuts, doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, it goes back a lot further.
Yeah.
Sort of, we're talking the late 50s.
Right.
But yeah, there was a shortage, and we weren't self-sufficient in blood, so the government paid, because it was cheaper, prisons, borstalls, both in the US and in this country.
So you claimed that because of this factor VIII, you got hepatitis C.
That's correct, yes.
From the age of 8.
Yes.
How did you notice an immediate effect, or did it? What effect did you notice? What changes did you notice after the tonsillectomy?
After the tonsillectomy, it was several months. I just changed from your average 7-8-year-old girl from horse riding, dancing lessons, out on my bicycle, to a child that just took to her bed. I lost interest in school, my friends. I had health conditions. I wasn't well. I had rashes. I was itching. Loads of other symptoms. And my mum used to take me back to the haemophilia centre and say, what have you done with my child? She's not the same child. I remember the doctors running off into their little rooms. Of course they knew, but they just put it down to, it's psychological problems and things like that. So
you must have thought you were going nuts then. If the doctor's saying, it's all in your head and you're physically feeling it.
That's it, yeah.
That must have been very confusing.
Yeah, and of course parents say no, don't they?
Yeah.
You know that there's a change in your child, and it took years to get answers. We were palmed off, and it wasn't till the 90s that I actually found out.
And tell me if I got this right. The doctors discovered you had Hep C in 91.
That's correct.
But they didn't tell you until 4 years later.
That's correct, and that was just by chance. Yeah.
This is like a Victorian cover-up.
Yes, yeah, it is a total cover-up. You're right. That is the best way to describe it, and it's been going on for decades.
Why did they not tell you they tested you for Hep C?
Oh, they didn't tell anyone they were testing them for Hep C. They knew that there was a problem with the factor that we were being given. They didn't know what the problem was, and it wasn't till the late 80s. Well, with HIV and AIDS, it was early 80s they knew, and then it wasn't till they say the 90s, early 90s, that they knew about Hep C. They knew there was a non-A, non-B, which later transpired to be hepatitis C.
Now, are you clear of Hep C? Is Hep C the one that can be cleared? Because there's one can be and one can't be, is that right?
Well, they say that people do naturally clear hepatitis C, but as the years have gone on, research has shown that actually you don't naturally clear hepatitis C. It lays dormant in your body and can mutate into other cancers or illnesses.
So the Hep C, the direct effects of that have gone. And was that a natural progress, or did you have beta interferon or anything like that?
No, I didn't have any treatment because I'd been forgotten about, which was the admission of the hospital as well. Yeah. And it turns out in '97 I'd naturally cleared the virus.
But it was still having impacts on your life, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, and still does now.
You have breast cancer?
I was diagnosed with breast cancer in when I was 39, 2010.
Yeah.
They do believe that was due to the Hep C.
And thousands of people have been affected by this factor VIII.
That's right. There's over 4,000 haemophiliacs that have been given contaminated factor VIII. Of those 4,000, approximately 2,000 have died. Some have been awarded 20 grand from the Skipton Fund, just pennies really. And some of these people, as I say, have died. Some are still terminally ill, and fighting for justice.
And you've had no compensation whatsoever?
No, I was turned down. I think
we should be parading you around on our shoulders and buying you a house. I really think that people like you that have been affected by something like this should be completely looked after, and not enough of money could apologise for what you've been through. There is a report, isn't there? The Penrose report is coming out dealing with factor VIII, but this is just in Scotland, isn't it?
That's correct, yeah. Lord Penrose reports on the 25th of March.
Why is Scotland leading the way here?
I actually don't know. I don't know why. I think it was something that the Scottish people sort of fought for, and he's been reporting on this looking into it for about 6 years, if I'm right. So it's taken a long time. Whether it'll have an impact on what happens down here, I don't know. Obviously, he can make recommendations, but he can't say that you have to award people. We can only hope.
Listen, I'm not one for conspiracy theories. But I do think with things like this, where there have been massive medical mistakes like thalidomide and things like this, that quite often they're waiting for everyone to die, or waiting for no, do you know what I mean? That they're waiting for everyone to get out of the way, and then they go, no, there's 10 people left. No, of course we'll pay compensation. It was terrible what happened all those years ago. I don't mean that disrespectfully.
No, it's really interesting you should say that, because not long ago a letter was released, and the McFarlane Trust and some other trusts, it was reported in there that basically the saying was, if you leave it a bit longer to the government, with a bit of luck, a few more of these people would have passed away.
Less of a scandal.
And that's less money to pay out. So, these trusts, the McFarlane Trust, the Skipton Fund, they need to go. They're not fit for purpose, and appropriate compensation needs to be awarded.
Is your breast cancer all right now? Is that sorted? Or
I'm waiting for the 5-year-old clear this year, so fingers crossed.
My mum's just come through that, and we got a scan at the other day, and she was clear, so it's all good. I wish you the very best of luck with that.
Thank you.
Wish you the best of luck with the Hep C, and that it stays dormant. And you must be worried for your boys. You mentioned your boys have got haemophilia.
A boy and a girl.
Boy and a girl.
Yeah. Both have bleeding disorders, and have a mother of 2 young children with haemophilia. We want better care to come out of this for them, safer treatment, and...
We were all shocked by this story. Nikki, I wish you the very best of luck. Would you let us know, how things progress?
Yes, I will.
More power to your elbow. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1 M1 southbound, there's reports of a lane being closed just after the Watford Gap services in the roadworks area because of a breakdown. Also on the M1 southbound, it's slow from junction 11 for Dunstable Road towards junction 9 for Redbourne, and leading up to there on the A5 southbound from Markyate at Lynch Hill towards the M1 junction 9 for Redbourne, it's looking very busy too. On the A40 Western Avenue, that's closed out of London between the RAF Northolt and the Hillingdon Circus. It's causing delays in both directions though, with people slowing down to look at the accident on the way into London. On the trains, no major delays reported at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. 7:16. It's Thursday, the 5th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she finally gets compensation. And police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man on Facebook.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We listen as well as talk to people.
We love Bed Tarts and Bucks. We live in Bed Tarts and Bucks.
It's got a nice mixture of music and speech.
I think it really cares about people locally.
The best radio is when you're listening as well as talking.
We care about you, the listener, about what's going on in your lives. What's happening to you is important to us.
And it really knows our local community sort of inside out.
And this radio station is fantastic because of A, the stories, and B, the presenters who deliver them.
You trust it when you're listening to all our presenters. You know where you are and you feel good.
All of our stories, all of our guests, everything we do is for Bed Tarts and Bucks.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
She was amazing, wasn't she?
Wonderful.
She was, bless her, she was so nervous.
Was she? Didn't sound it.
No, I know, and I said afterwards, I said, you were fantastic. And she said, I was so nervous.
Well, hopefully she'll keep in touch with us.
You can pick up the vibe when someone comes in, and you could tell she was nervous. And I said to her, when Boring Jamie was banging on about pigeons, I wasn't really listening. I said, look, there's no trick questions. We'll just have a little chat. What an incredible story. Incredible. And it annoys me. People like that, the government should be getting their, or drug companies or someone, should be getting their checkbooks out and saying, right, how much do you want?
And speaking as the average Joe and Josephine, isn't it a scandal that we didn't know about this before today?
She got that, when did she say she was 8? She's a couple of years younger than me. So she got that blood about 32 years ago. And she had hep C, and her breast cancer is probably a result of that. 32 years ago, and she's still fighting to get a few quid. What? It just leaves me, thank you, Kelly, it just leaves me, I don't understand it. I do not understand it. 08459 455 555. We'll talk about Have a Go Heroes in a second, but Millie's on the line. Good morning, Millie.
Hello.
What have you got for us?
I actually really like pigeons.
Sorry, what did you say? For a second, Millie, just for a second, I thought you said you actually really like pigeons.
I do.
Why?
Because they're cute.
They are not. They are full of fleas and disease. And have you seen their manky feet?
No.
Yeah. All right, Millie, you want to be disgusted? The next time you see a pigeon, look at its feet. Oh, they're horrible.
Well, actually, people usually like doves, but not pigeons. Actually, they're exactly the same thing.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
A rock dove is the same as a feral pigeon.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it isn't.
It is.
No, it's not.
They're exactly the same thing.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They're not.
They are.
I'm afraid they're not.
They are.
Millie, they're not.
They are.
They're not.
They are.
They're not.
They are.
Nope, they're not.
Well, they're the most...
Nope, nope.
They are.
Not.
Iain.
Yes.
They are.
Then, right, you...
Iain?
Yes, Kelly?
Are you arguing with a 10-year-old?
I don't know. Millie, are you 10?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
She's poning you.
She's not poning me. She's talking nonsense. Kelly.
Yes.
She just said that pigeons are the same as doves. She's comparing the bird of poop to the bird of peace.
Do you know what the Spanish word for pigeon is?
No, mate.
Paloma. Do you know what the Spanish word for dove is?
Faith?
Paloma.
Okay. Well, you've just
They're
been
the same.
you've just been palomed by the Spaniards.
Espanol.
Right. You're turning your microphones off. They're annoying me, Millie. Millie, do you want to phone a friend go 50-50 or whatever the third one was? Yeah, so you don't even know the answer to that, and you think you're okay. Oh no, all right. Let's assume that you're right, Millie, and that pigeons are the same as doves. Yeah, let's assume that for a second. What's your qualifications? How many? What degree have you got, Millie? Let's start with there.
None.
Okay. How many A levels you got?
None.
Okay, I've got a 2-1 and I've got 2 A levels. And how many GCSEs have you got, Millie?
10.
You've not got 10. You've not got 10. I put it to you, Millicent, that you are a liar. Am I correct?
No.
What you got at school today, Millie?
Art.
Oh, DOS, is what you used to call it. Have you got any proper lessons?
Yeah. Book.
Book? You got book? What does book mean?
Reading.
Hey, no, I used to like reading. So you got reading and art. Well, that sounds like a busy day, Millie.
Well, it's World Book Day, so...
Are you dressing up today or tomorrow?
I'm dressing up today.
Who are you going as?
Karate Princess.
Whoa! Hang on, there's a book called The Karate Princess?
Yeah.
What happens in it?
Well, lots of things, because it's a series of books.
Hey, that sounds awesome. The books I had when I was a kid were rubbish. Millie, listen, have a really nice day.
Okay.
Thank you for being a good sport. And can I suggest you go and read up on pigeons and doves a little bit and call back tomorrow and apologise? Thank you, Millie.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just had a phone call there from Broken Britain.
She's the great hope.
She's not.
Maffin Hanslow,
Morning,
massive
Maff.
disappointment. Iain, I agree with you. Pigeons are flying rats that spread disease, especially into air conditioning units.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that was a particular problem.
Yes, no, it is. Of course, they go and live in there, and their germs and their fleas get blown around.
Do-gooders should capture them and relocate them to trees. The rest of us should do our duty and eradicate them from town centres. You do that, you can end up in court, Maff.
Can I just say, we've had a lot of kids calling up. And can we stop it, please? This is no, sorry, the opposite. Can I say we've had a lot of young people calling up recently. I flipping love it. I love it. We've had we had Millie. Was it Penny yesterday? Who was 14. Hannah's called. We've had a few. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Where the boys at though?
Well, yeah, it's true. If you've got a young person in your family who's going, can I phone up and have a go at him? Feel free to. Feel free to. We love it, and love it. And also, we call you back as well, so it doesn't cost you loads and loads of money.
Yeah.
You call us and then we call you back.
We're also asking this morning, what can't you do that other people can do?
Yep.
And Neil in Royston has an interesting one.
Yep.
Can't smell anything.
Whoa.
Haven't been able to for years, but every cloud and all that, at least I can't smell my 2-year-old's nappies.
Oh, no, there's something very cathartic about a young child, 2-year-old in nappies. 08459 455 555 81333. Start your text 3CR. More of those earlier on. No, hang on. Later on. That's the one, isn't it? Yes. Now, a pair of robbers armed with a 6-inch knife got a little bit more than they bargained for when they tried to steal cigarettes from a shop near Luton. Christopher Edwards and Ralph Kahn weren't prepared to stand by and watch their property being stolen from the slip-end shop. So Ralph used a plastic cricket bat to scare them away. Our reporter Justin Dealey has been speaking to Christopher at the store.
It's about 6:30 in the evening. We were doing some work on the ice cream fridge and I heard the buzzer go. I just looked round and then there's a guy was standing there with a knife pointing it at me. And then I saw the guy behind the counter, so I just ran at the counter and tried to grab him to stop him doing what he was doing.
Instinctive, just like that?
Yep. Didn't even think about it at the time.
Looking back at the video, are you surprised at the way you reacted?
I just didn't think at the time, but just now you think about it and you think something else could have happened. But I didn't. I just went for it.
Talk to me about what's here.
There's a little plastic bat and a ball.
Which is sold to children?
It is for children. And Mr. Khan picked it up and chased the guy with the knife out of the shop with it.
Gosh, I don't know what to say to you, because it's just so bizarre looking at that plastic bat, which probably, a 3-year-old would play with. You chased him out with that?
Yep, Mr. Khan didn't even think about it. He just picked the first thing up he could find and started waving it and screaming at the guy.
And what have your friends said to you about this? Have they said to you that you were mad for doing what you did?
Some of them do, and some said you've actually stood up for shopkeepers. They praised me.
Were you scared at the time? Because if it was so instinctive, you probably didn't fear anything, did you?
No, not at the time. I just went for it, but afterwards I was shaking like a leaf. The adrenaline had actually kicked in for about an hour or so.
And talking about it now, we came in the shop, we were quite relaxed in our conversation. Now we're talking about the details. Again, you're starting to change. You're almost shaking now, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It's just bringing it all back.
But it hasn't put you off. You will continue to work in this shop.
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely.
Well, listening to that was Dr. George Fieldman, who's an independent chartered psychologist. Morning, George.
Morning, Ian.
We all like to think that we would have a go, but no one actually knows until they're in that situation, do they?
And that's probably true. Yeah, there's something called the bystander effect.
Right.
And people will sort of tend to do what other people around them are doing. And the bigger the number of bystanders, the more likely that any individual will do what the bystanders are doing.
In a situation like this, where it's two fellas in a shop, is it a certain kind of person that reacts in the way that these two gentlemen did? Or could they have acted differently if it had happened on another day?
I think that's a fantastic question. I don't think the answer is really known. But I think that if it's your property and you feel confident that the person is transgressing a social norm, then I think it's more likely that you'd be reasonably defensive in that circumstance.
We often hear stories of someone who's been attacked, and you talk about the bystander effect. There are people watching, and we go, "Oh, isn't it shocking that no one stepped in to get involved?" If I were lying on the floor getting a good kicking, what would be the best way, George, for me to get those bystanders to join in and help me?
Well, probably to call help and to indicate that you don't know the people around you. If people think that you might have transgressed against those people around you who are kicking you in some other circumstance, then they may be less likely to help you. But if you say, "Help, I don't know who you are, get off me," then people, I think, are more likely to jump in and rescue you.
And these two chaps that did get involved and did fight back, what would be the kind of the effects on them? I mean, we heard Christopher saying that a couple of days later he was shaking just thinking about it.
Well, I mean, he obviously did the right thing, as it turned out. But of course, sometimes to get involved is extremely dangerous. But it turned out nicely, and so that's fine. Physical violence is when it explodes is difficult to predict. And if somebody's a thief, they may be more likely to engage in physical violence than the average member of the community.
George, good to talk to you. Thank you. Dr. George Fieldman, independent chartered psychologist. 08459 455 555. It's a radio perennial, but have you ever got involved? Have you ever waded in and fought back?
It's a few situations where it's been a one-on-one thing. I've found myself in the middle of
a sandwich.
Giving someone what for, without thinking about it.
Wow.
Yeah. Gosh. I found myself leaping out of my car, and I hear a voice shouting, and it's mine.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. Told some kids off once for vandalising a bus stop.
Big man.
Thanks very much indeed.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1 Great North Road, that's starting to look very slow southbound from the Coneworth turn-off towards the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks. In Oley, on the A509 Western Road, that's looking slow southbound from Lavenden Road towards Market Place. And in Hemel Hempstead, the A41 southbound's looking slow on the speed sensors from Two Waters Road southbound towards the M25. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's heavy between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. And the A1M southbound's very slow from junction 3 for St Albans towards junction 1 for the M25 as well at South Mims. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month means she will finally get compensation. Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man on Facebook. Downing Street says David Cameron will take part in just one pre-election TV debate, and Hertfordshire Fire Service has criticised a hoax call in Stevenage last night to flats where 2 firefighters died in 2005.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Chelsea remain 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League after a 1-0 win at West Ham. Here's manager Jose Mourinho.
My players were brilliant after a final where it's not just to play football, it's also the pressure, it's also the tension, it's also the emotion. The players were fantastic because we couldn't kill the game. You can't win here, so I think these 3 points are massive for us.
Second place Manchester City beat Leicester 2-0. Arsenal were 2-1 winners at QPR. Manchester United won 1-0 at Newcastle with a late goal from Ashley Young, although the headlines this morning are about Papis Cisse and Johnny Evans apparently spitting at each other. United manager Louis van Gaal doesn't believe his player would be guilty of such a crime.
I cannot see that from the bench. When it is true, I shall admit it, but I cannot imagine that Johnny Evans could do that. So maybe he's spitting to the ground, but not in the face or something like that. I cannot imagine.
Tottenham beat Swansea 3-2. The Swansea striker Bafatimbi Gomez says he's fine after fainting on the pitch in the opening minutes at the same ground where Fabrice Muamba collapsed. Liverpool are back to 5th after a 2-0 win over Burnley. Stoke beat Everton 2-0. Watford have extended midfielder Ben Watson's contract until 2017 with an option for a further year. The 29-year-old joined the Hornets in January for an undisclosed fee. Watford remained third in the Championship after Norwich lost 1-0 at home to Wigan last night. Wickham have appealed against the red card shown to substitute Matt McClure in the win at Tranmere on Tuesday night, 70 seconds after he came off the bench. And a strong Luton development side lost on penalties to Biggleswade in the semi-finals of the Beds Senior Cup last night. Biggleswade will meet Barton Rovers at Kenilworth Road in the final in May. BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Incorporated. We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. Nothing's gonna turn us back now. Straight ahead and on the track now. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. There's nothing we won't try.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We're talking about the panther. Started off as a kind of a jokey story, but it is very likely there is a panther out there, a man-eating, baby-snatching panther is out there.
Define very likely.
Well, OK, there's probably a 98% chance that there's probably this panther out there, and we're in Streatley. And we are suggesting, the BBC official line is, lock your doors, lock your windows, don't go out unless you absolutely have to.
It's not.
And just be very, very careful. Don't leave babies in prams outside Safeway.
No, what happened was Pat in Houghton Regis' sister and wife and sister-in-law saw what appeared to be a large cat. They ran for their lives. They got back in the car. They managed to outrun a huge cat. One of them was wearing zebra print trousers. That's what we know.
Mate, we know more than that, mate. Look, BBC cover-up. Lefty, liberal, muesli, munching, sandal-wearing, hemp,
I object
smoking.
to that. I object to that. It was a brioche.
A sheep has been mauled. Luckily, the sheep is still alive, but a man who owns lots of sheep, he's not a farmer, has been mauled. And now...
Now listen, a big cat would have ripped the sheep's throat out. It wouldn't have been treatable.
No, mate, it's a warning. And now...
A warning?
Ian Gervin, if you follow me, at Ian Lee on Twitter, Ian Gervin has posted a picture of the panther. He says, this beast mauled a chicken and then made a break for the window. It's in his house.
Let's have a look.
The best picture I could get. Mate,
oh, hang on a minute.
There's Ev.
Flipping heck, it's going to be after your library card, Ian, if you're not careful.
It's true. 08459 455 555 is the phone. Now, other bits and pieces we're talking about. Things you can't do that everyone else can. Our very own Sammy Bruff can't click her fingers.
Oh, dear.
That's weird, isn't it?
How on earth have we not known this?
And also having a go, heroes, pigeons. I want to talk as well about, there's not specifically, but about this horrible Becky Watts story. The young girl that was murdered. I don't know if I feel uncomfortable that I know so much about the couple that have been accused.
Charged.
I know their names. I know what they look like. I know that they would go to a wedding. I know that they went to a fancy dress party dressed up as prisoners. I know everything about them. And it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't know why. It's on the front page of the Mirror. It's not on the front page of the Sun. That's about David Walliam splitting up. But there is a spread about them in there. Should we? Because, hey, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we can't talk specifics of this case, but people have been arrested before and been found to be completely innocent.
Remember the case in Bristol?
Was he arrested he was arrested but not charged, I think.
Yeah, but the papers went to town on him.
Went to town on him because he looked a little bit weird. And he had funny hair, and there was a bloke living on his own. Oh, it must have been him. And of course it wasn't. I don't know, is it just me?
Does it feel like trial by papers to you?
Do we know too much? I'm not even going to say their names, because I don't, do we know too much about this couple that have been accused of an horrific crime? Should we know? So, you mentioned as well the footballer.
The footballer who's been accused of having sex with a 14-year-old.
15, wasn't she?
An under
16-year-old girl, and we know his name. We know, and if that
also they're starting to talk about her and what she may or may not have said.
But if that stops there, that story stops there, and he's completely innocent of that. Well, no smoke without fire. Surely he must have done something. We'll be going through people's minds, and whenever I can't remember his name because I don't know football, but whenever you hear his name, you go, "Oh yeah, nudge, nudge."
But there was also talk in the papers yesterday about the alleged victim having boasted about having an affair. Again, that's kind of making people jump to judgments, isn't it?
Do we know too much about 08459 455 555? Are the papers giving away too much about people before they have been tried and convicted or otherwise? There's an argument for some cases, isn't there? The Stuart Hall is the example of naming people before they go to trial. But naming this gentleman and his... are they married or are they... Girlfriend. Naming them... Well, what's that got... That was a loud one. What's that going to achieve in terms of, well, more people might step forward? Well, not in this case, they won't. I don't know. 08459 455 555. On other matters, Trucker Chris. Morning, Chris.
Good morning, my old mate. How are you?
I'm all right, fella. Do you want to talk to me or do you want to talk to Kath?
Well, I'll talk to you both. But
thank you.
Kath's the more intelligent one out of two.
You've noticed. Oh, he's gone in a huff.
He's got it up, is he?
Yeah, he has. Look.
He better apologise to that young lady, Millie, because I've just Googled it about pigeons, and they're both of the same family.
Exactly.
A pigeon is a larger version of a dove.
Told you. Look, put your microphone back up. Come on. Be a man about it.
Just slap his leg and put him on the naughty step.
Well, I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
Sorry, Chris, your line's breaking up.
Yeah,
So it appears you've been poked by a 10-year-old and a trucker.
He just Googled it. If you Google it, you'll find out we never went to the moon and that John F. Kennedy was shot by aliens.
Double ownership.
Damon's in Wheathampstead. Good morning, Damon.
Good morning, Ian.
What you got for us, boss?
I was talking about jumping in.
The normal phrase is have a go, but jumping in, I think, is much better. Yes. When have you jumped in, Damon?
It's funny you should ask me that. I was travelling on a train from London home, a Thameslink train. Not that Thameslink has anything to do with it whatsoever, and other train lines.
What an excellent company they are.
They are marvellous. We were pulling into St Albans, and I was standing by the doors, and everyone was piling off the doors. And as they're piling off the doors, I could hear these two voices come on. Get off the way, get out of the way, get out of the way.
Wow, you're such a good actor. You sound like Dick Van Dyke there. Get out of the way.
So everyone piles off, and these two young hoodlums, I would describe them as, young hoodies come on the train, and they've got cans of beer in one hand and cigarettes of dubious substances in the other, and they kind of run up and down the carriage going, come on, who wants to sing song? Who wants to sing song? Who's going to muck about with us?
Who's going to muck about with us?
Well, it rhymes with muck.
Okay, yes, I got your point, thank you, yes.
So
it was less of an invitation than a challenge.
Yes, it was more of a challenge, yeah. And so obviously I did the thing that everyone should do and buried my face in my book and tried to ignore them and hide away. But they came back to the doors, and they were standing by the doors, and they lit up, they did the worst thing they could possibly do. They lit up their cigarettes. And I was reading my book, trying to ignore them, and I was just thinking, oh, no, should I do something? Should I say something? Should I do something? Should I say? And they turned to me and goes, do you want some of this then?
Oh.
And so I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I'll have a little toke on that.
You've actually spoken to me, so I have to react in some way to this. So I said, what is it then? And they said, what do you mean, what is it? I said, what is it? Is it like Pakistani black or something? What kind of... Not knowing what I'm talking about whatsoever. And I took it off him.
Yeah.
And I stubbed it out on my hand.
Tough guy.
He's a nut job.
And they look at me thinking, why has he done that? And I'm thinking, oh, why have I done that? And that really hurts. And then one of them turns to the other one and goes, hang on, he's an undercover copper. And I'm like, yeah, I'm an undercover copper, and I'd like to see some ID, please. And so one of them gets his ID out, and the other one says, I'm not showing you any ID until you show me yours. Which I'm thinking, that's a very reasonable question, actually. And I'm thinking, how is this going to... I don't know what I'm doing here. And the train starts to pull into Harpenden, and I'm thinking, what do I do? What do I do? And I said to them, look, you two, you're getting off the train with me, and we're going to sort it out at the station. I'm calling for backup now.
This is insane.
I'm standing there going, this is insane as well. So the train pulls into Harpenden, and they say, we're not getting off the train with you, mate.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are getting off the train with me. And they're like, we're not getting off. So anyway, I get off the train, and they follow me off the train.
Oh, damn it.
Nicely, we get into the waiting room of the...
Are you calling us from a hospital bed?
We get into the waiting room, and I said, right, you two wait there, because backup is on the way now, and we're going to sort this out.
Wow.
And they're like, we're not waiting here. I said, you wait there. You just wait there, because I'm just going out to check on back. And they watched me walk out of the waiting room, walk across the platform, walk straight back onto the train, and they're still waiting.
Damon,
I'm standing there thinking, please, train doors shut. And they're looking at me, shouting at me, saying, we're not waiting here. And I'm thinking, no, don't wait there. Run off, do something, but just don't follow me.
Flippin' heck, Damon.
Damon, I think I love you.
Anyway, to cut a long story short...
We're too late for that.
...door shut, and we went off, and thank God, I've never heard anything from them since.
David, that is an amazing story. Catherine has typed up something on my screen.
Apart from loving him, you're very posh for a Damon.
Oh, what do you mean? That's
well, Damon, I would, yeah.
How many other Damons do you know, apart from Damon from Brookside?
Unposh Damons.
It's, Damon, it's a brilliant story, excellently told. I suspect we might hear some of that in the podcast. Thank you well, Damon, we've not spoken before, have we?
No, we haven't, but I think we are distantly related, Ian.
Oh, how?
Well, not actually. I think I used to work with your sister about 20 years ago.
Did you, Jo?
Yes, Jo, lovely Jo.
Where did you work with her?
Pets Win Prizes.
Hey! Hey, I was on Pets Win Prizes.
Well, I hope you were a bona fide owner of something.
No, I was brought in as a... Who'd have thought BBC Pets Win Prizes was a terrible show. First series hosted by Danny Baker, the rest of it hosted by... Dale Winton. And basically, people brought their pets on, and they would win prizes for you. And I was lined up, Damon, to be... And the fact that you've said that implies that this maybe happened quite often. I was lined up...
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I was lined up to possibly replace a guinea pig pig owner because the guinea pig owner was a nut job and no one was sure if she could handle the pressure of being on television. So I was like, in the end, I didn't have to replace her.
Would you have had to work with the guinea pig?
Yes, I'd have had to.
Wouldn't respect you.
I'd have had to have pretended to be the guinea pig. Instead, Damon, this is one of my favourite things I've ever done, right? And I got 50 quid for this. Instead, I was sat on a deck chair. There were a row of deck chairs. Right, five.
With the donkeys!
The donkeys! It was the donkeys!
I had a hat on as well!
Did you have a hat on?
Yeah, the hat with the carrots on.
Damon, we've worked together! We've worked together. We sat, Damon and I, without knowing this, sat on deck chairs with hats on, straw hats with carrots on, and donkeys had... What did they have to do?
They had to eat the carrots off the hat, and the first donkey to eat the carrot won.
And this was what, Saturday night entertainment?
This was Saturday night BBC One!
Smash.
Oh, Damon, we have worked together. It's so nice to meet another performer.
Another professional.
Damon, I have to go. Do call again, won't you?
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1 Great North Road's very slow from the Comworth turn-off southbound towards the Black Cat roundabout through the roadworks. In Northolt on the A40 Western Avenue out of London, there's been an accident which closed it between RAF Northolt and the Hillingdon Circus. It's causing long queues into London from the Denham roundabout towards the RAF Northolt. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's very slow from junction 21 for the M1 to junction 19 for Watford. And looking at the speed sensors on the A1M southbound, that's looking very busy from junction 3 for St Albans towards the M25. The M1 southbound is also looking very slow from junction 11 for Dunstable Road to junction 9 for Redbourne, but looking at the train departure boards, there are no major delays showing up there at the moment. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Oh, thank you, Damon. That's made my day. Thank you for reminding me of the time I had sat in a deck chair and had a donkey eat carrots off my head. Oh, dear. 7:47. It is, where are we? Thursday, the 5th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she finally gets compensation. Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man on Facebook. And Hertfordshire Fire Service has criticised a hoax call in Stevenage last night to flats where 2 firefighters died in 2005. Coming up, let's try and get a bit of Dealey on the show, shall we? But before that, the return of the marvellous Elizabeth Rizzini.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, good morning. So kind, Iain. Thank you very much. Well, today is a very cold start. We've got temperatures hovering just above freezing across the three counties at the moment. 1s, 2s. Those temperatures will pick up by the time we get to the afternoon, of course, and it will be much milder than it has been over recent days. So we're probably looking at 9 or even 10 degrees, 50 in Fahrenheit. There is some cloud this morning, but the best of the sunshine will generally be, I think, this morning before it starts to cloud over more substantially into this afternoon. It will stay dry all day, turning cloudy, highs of 10 degrees, not a bad looking day, a fairly light southwesterly breeze. Now overnight tonight it'll be milder than it was last night. We're looking at temperatures probably dropping no lower than 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. Staying dry and it will be quite cloudy, so a milder start to the day tomorrow. Tomorrow a fairly similar sort of day. There'll be quite a lot of cloud around, some breaks in the cloud at times where we get some sunshine and it'll feel really quite pleasant. I think we're looking at 11 or 12 degrees Celsius, might even see a degree or so on that by the time we get to Saturday, so feeling really quite spring-like over the next few days. But just to manage your expectations, it's not going to be wall-to-wall sunshine. There'll always be quite a lot of cloud. That's the forecast.
All good questions, Sarah. She says on Twitter, any news on that Chancer without an eye?
Every weekday morning.
Coming up at 9 on the Big Phone In this morning, is it a good idea to make jobless teenagers work for their benefits? How would you like this country to stand up to President Putin? Are you surprised to see British people being blatantly racist?
The JVS Show.
I think we've got to get over this issue about racism doesn't exist. It has existed. It will probably carry on existing.
What I wanted to say is they've got this completely the wrong way around. You know, that is also true. That is also true.
You will always get some, but they are such a minority.
I think the man's a buffoon. Get him up, get him out of bed, give him a sense of purpose.
The JVS Show.
Do you think we have got to, as a country, start taking this issue more seriously?
Every weekday morning on BBC Three Counties Radio.
is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold. A brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but you know it won't be long. We're almost there and we paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
Big up yourself, Justin Dealey.
Hey, good morning to you, boss.
Mate,
Busy morning today.
Yeah, I don't. Have you been on Twitter?
No. What's been happening on Twitter?
There is a photo of the panther.
What?
And I'm not even winding you up. There is a photo of the man-eating panther that has been terrorising and not only terrorising families but also snatching babies in Streatley. Mm-hmm. Iain has tweeted a picture of the panther. You only see a bit of it, but it is. I nearly saw then. It is flipping it's massive.
And you're not winding me up?
No. I've retweeted it.
Okay.
So if you go on Twitter and look at I've retweeted it.
It's getting scary now.
It is getting scary.
You may be taking the mickey out of this.
No,
but,
hang on a minute.
But genuinely, something is happening.
I'm not the fella that went to the scene of the incident with a massive badge, looking like Gilbert O'Sullivan, and got a pink panther attacked. You're the one that's I have been behind this panther every step of the way from day one, mate.
Not true. So just to update our listeners, and there will be a full update tomorrow because this morning I'm busy dealing with pigeons. We have been talking about pigeons, but also I shall be getting the facts ready for tomorrow's programme. For those that don't know, I went out with two sisters from Houghton Regis, Rosalind and Debbie. They claim they saw this black panther in Streatley, Bedfordshire. They got out of their car to take a closer look. They also claim the panther chased them. Their words, not mine. They were running for their lives. Now, in the last few days, more reports have come in, people saying they've seen something similar, but also a local man who has some sheep. I've been in contact with Willie. I'm going to meet... Yes, Willie. I'm going to meet Willie a bit later on.
When was the last time you were in contact with Willie?
It was yesterday afternoon.
Me too.
Yep. And later I'll be meeting Willie because one of his sheep was attacked. The vet came along. This was an emergency call. Thankfully, the sheep has survived. But according to the vet, they're saying this bite is too big to be from a fox and it's too big to be from a dog. You tell me what that could be.
Mate, I'm with you. It's a panther. It's Boyley who's not buying this. Boyley?
Not even a smidge. Come on.
You see?
I'm just saying that there is something happening out there. Why would all these people be lying?
Exactly.
One maybe.
Yeah.
But the stories are all coming together. This was in the same area. This sheep was attacked. It was attacked half a mile away from the original sighting. All that panther's got to do is go down the bottom of the hill to Sharpenhoe, and there, in front of him, he has a nice meal.
Now...
But he didn't finish it.
Now,
maybe he didn't like the taste. I don't know. Panthers don't normally eat sheep, do they?
Guys, let's from one P to another.
Wildebeest.
Pigeons.
Yes.
What's going on with pigeons?
Well, you mentioned this in the papers earlier on. A man has stamped on a pigeon.
Yeah,
and
this
he's
is
killed
nuts.
the pigeon. It's gone to court. You were saying it's a waste of taxpayers' money. I've been on the streets of Luton this morning because, in my experience of travelling the world, Luton is the pigeon capital of the world. I have seen more pigeons in Luton than anywhere else.
What about Trafalgar Square, mate?
Well, I haven't been there for a long time. And the last time I went there, they were doing everything they possibly could to get pigeons out of the area.
Okay.
It's just a few people. But reports are coming in this morning, and you'll hear this report after 8:30. Maybe you know this person. Somebody comes to Luton Town Centre every single day with a trolley full of food to feed to the pigeons. That's what I'm hearing this morning on the streets of Luton.
Oh, is that it?
Yes.
There's no audio?
There will be after 8:30.
Oh, flipping it, mate. you're giving it the big sell, and I thought we were going to get somewhere.
It's a big sell. That's what I'm being told. You'll hear that after 8:30. But some people, they absolutely hate these creatures. I'm still struggling to find anybody listening who, A, loves the pigeon, and B, would go and feed the pigeon.
OK, well, Justin, it's great to talk to you.
And you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Ta-da.
Bye.
Bye. Kev's on the line. Morning, Kev.
Morning, Ian. How are you this morning?
I'm all right, thank you, boss. What you got?
Well, bit of a problem, really.
Oh, go on, mate.
The Littlest Hobo song that you love so much.
That's correct, yeah.
I don't think it's right that we should be playing it in 2015.
What? I'm getting the old payola for this. What do you mean?
Well, it's all about this dog that travels around the country solving crimes and being friends to everyone, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lovely dog.
He's solving crimes, he's being friends to everyone, he's helping orphan children.
Yeah, but where's the poo bags? Who carries the poop bags?
You got me there on a technicality, Kev.
It is a technicality, and it's a really worrying one.
I don't think the Littlest Hobo does a poo.
You're joking?
I don't think he does.
It's something
Is it
I've been
gonna
worried.
explode?
It's something I've been worried about. Who's picking up after this dog?
Sorry?
He might have a little bag tied to his tail that just catches it.
Like you.
Oh no! Come on.
Kev, you've thrown a Spaniard in the works.
I'm sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay, cheers.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
It's all fun and games, isn't it? But he's fouling the pavements.
It's callers like Kev that make me hate people.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
But thanks for your call, Kev.
Any Texas?
Yeah, probably. Let's have a look.
Oh, flipping it.
Black Panther alert, Iain. Start the spooky music, says Tony.
Oh, we haven't got time for me to find it. Oh, blimey. You've got to look at the timings, Catherine.
Oh, he's joking anyway.
Oh, in that case.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Oney on Western Road, that's looking very slow southbound from Lavenden Road towards Marketplace. And in Bedford on the A6 Ampthill Road, that's very busy now between Rope Walk and the A421. In Northolt on the A40 Western Avenue in London, it's looking very slow all the way from the Denham roundabout towards RAF Northolt because of an accident in the opposite carriageway. And on the M25 anti-clockwise, it's slow around junction 19 for Watford. On the trains, Virgin Trains East Coast are reporting 15-minute delays to London King's Cross because of a signalling problem at Welwyn Garden City. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, you can't click your fingers.
I know I can't.
That's insane.
See? I'm trying to do it. Okay, I did it a bit.
This is how you do it. Hang on a minute. Let's get rid of the silly music. You ready? Here we go.
Okay.
That is...
You're just clapping.
No, I'm clicking. Here we go. And sleep. You see? That's how you do it, Sammy. If you always come and teach her, I'm happy to, mate. 25 quid an hour, is that all right?
Ooh, it's a bit steep.
There, well, I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. What can't you do that other people can do? Pigeons. And do we know too much about these people on the front page of the Mirror accused of murdering Becky Watts?
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Hertfordshire woman's hope for compensation, missing Luton dad contacts police, and fire service anger at Stevenage hoax call.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month means she will finally get compensation. Nikki Jones from St Albans has haemophilia and contracted hepatitis C after receiving treatment after having her tonsils out in 1980. She's waiting on an initial report published by Lord Penrose in Scotland.
He's been reporting on this looking into it for about 6 years, if I'm right. So it's taken a long time. Whether it'll have an impact on what happens down here, I don't know. Obviously, he can make recommendations, but he can't say that you have to award people. We can only hope.
Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man. 22-year-old Kieran Carroll was last seen at about 2 p.m. on Tuesday with baby Louis on the CCTV of a Luton hotel. A man using a Facebook account in Mr Carroll's name sent a message to police saying he was fine. Bedfordshire Police replied saying they need to see the pair in person, adding it's not the role of the police to decide on child custody matters. The Crown Prosecution Service has said there was insufficient evidence for a prosecution in this country of a man who's been found guilty of terror charges in the United States. Abid Nazir was convicted of involvement in a plot to blow up targets, including a shopping centre in Manchester. He was extradited from the UK to the USA in 2013. Downing Street says David Cameron will take part in just one pre-election TV debate. It would have to include at least 7 party leaders and would take place later this month before the official start of the campaign. Broadcasters had wanted 3 debates, including a head-to-head between Mr Cameron and Ed Miliband. More from the BBC's Ross Hawkins.
This is David Cameron saying he's only going to debate at a time and in a format of his choosing. Downing Street's argument is there's been chaos in the organisation of this from broadcasters. They've said for some time that they think that the Green Party should be included. Labour regard this as an outrageous attempt to bully the broadcasters into changing their plans.
Hertfordshire Fire Service say details of a hoax call to flats where 2 firefighters died have been passed to the police. 4 appliances were sent to Harrow Court in Stevenage last night after a caller claimed people were trapped. The Fire Service say despite the suspicions of the operator, they were obliged to treat the call as genuine. 2 firefighters died tackling a blaze at Harrow Court in 2005. The Planning Minister, Brandon Lewis, is in Milton Keynes today ahead of a referendum on a business neighbourhood plan. It's the first of its kind in the country and will provide a blueprint for development in MK over the next 15 years. The referendum will be held on the same day as the general election in May. In sport, Chelsea remain 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League after a 1-0 win at West Ham. Second place Manchester City beat Leicester 2-0. There were also wins for Manchester United, Arsenal and Liverpool. The weather, a frosty start, then staying dry with a mix of cloud and sunny spells, a maximum temperature 12 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Coming up, well, earlier on we spoke to Nikki Jones, who got hepatitis C because of a blood substitute that was used back in the 80s. Guess how much money she's had in compensation? Yeah, none. What can't you do that other people can do? Pigeons, don't you just hate them? And, well, this couple that's accused of killing Becky Watts, I don't want to talk about that case specifically, but I know what they look like, I know where they live, I know what their house looks like, I know their relationship, I know what they wear to fancy dress parties. I think I know too much about them. It's weird coverage, isn't it? Am I alone in feeling slightly uncomfortable with this coverage? 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
What you got, Boyley?
Roy's asking on the text where Dave Luton is. Thought he was calling in, or has he bottled it again? Steve in Bedford, unfortunately, he can't do something everyone else can do.
What's that?
Let's do our sympathetic head bobs.
Oh,
Can't burp. And I hate pigeons. And can you let your listeners know that on the A421 approaching the Black Cat roundabout, it's at a standstill, Steve of Bedford. Or Steve.
Thanks very much.
Tony reckons there are 2 cuckoos on the loose in Stretley. One of them is a stripy one and makes a screechy noise as it takes flight. We need the pigeon stamper over there right now to put his foot on the cuckoos. Tony, I have no idea what you're on about. Stamping on of birds will get you in court, as we found earlier with the story in the newspaper.
The fella went to court because he stamped on a pigeon. I mean, it's a pigeon. It's a rat with wings. We had some crazy 10-year-old phone up and said pigeons were like doves. Well, they're not like
they
doves.
are rock doves.
Mate, I'll rock you in a minute.
I think that's inappropriate.
Yeah, and I retract that immediately. 08459 455 555, or you can text 81333. Start your text 3CR. If you were listening an hour ago, you would have heard Nikki Jones come in. She's a woman from St Albans who was given contaminated blood. She got haemophilia. When she was 8, she was given Factor VIII, a blood clotting agent, which she believes gave her Hep C. It later transpired that this Factor... Where did they get this Factor VIII from? It's
America.
Incredible.
They were importing it from America, and it seemed they were using blood sold to them by the sorts of people that you would not want blood from.
Well, prostitutes and drug users, primarily. And
high-risk groups.
What a surprise. 4,000 people were infected because of it. None of these people have had compensation. Half of those people have since died. We can speak now to Conservative MP for North East Bedfordshire, Alistair Burt. Good morning, Alistair.
Good morning, Ian.
You've been leading calls for improved compensation for patients who were given contaminated blood. Why is it so important to you?
I have constituents who are affected by this. I've met a number of families who have been infected. And I think myself and quite a significant group of MPs now, and there's been MPs concerned about this for some time, now feel seriously worried that this has gone on for much too long. There have been attempts to do something about it. There have been payments made to people, but it's never been fully pulled together. And important questions, just as you've asked just now, about where the blood came from, who knew what and when, which is what the public now these days want to know about things like this. This has never been fully dealt with, and that's why MPs are still campaigning on this issue.
You said in the Commons recently, Alistair, that the scale of the disaster was immense. What did you mean by that?
What I meant by that is it's one of the largest peacetime losses of life that this country has ever experienced. And I think it is the third greatest loss of civilian life in well over 100 years. We all remember the awful tragedy of Aberfan when 144 children lost their lives in a landslip in 1966. The tragedy of a contaminated blood has killed 12 times as many people as were lost at Aberfan, and yet it's a rather unknown issue and statistic. That is the scale of what has happened to people.
It seems incredible. We spoke to one woman earlier on, Nikki Jones, who got Hep C because of this Factor VIII. That happened in sort of 1981, 82. It just seems incredible that so much time has passed and she's not received anything at all.
Well, there are some diseases that do not manifest themselves until a long time afterwards, and Hep C is one of them. You can be infected with Hep C and it can never have any impact upon you at all, or it can have an impact at some stage during your life. And I think the authorities do not genuinely know how many people were infected and who will show symptoms, and that's why some of these cases are revealed now. What we do know, however, is that some 1,200 people contracted a mixture of HIV and hepatitis. There were 1,200 of those, and of those, only 300 are still alive. And that's probably one of the biggest parts of this tragedy. The current situation is there is an inquiry. There has been an inquiry taking place in Scotland, the Penrose inquiry, which is due to report on March the 25th, a long-standing inquiry. That will have an impact on what happened in the rest of the United Kingdom, and we and many others are awaiting the results of that inquiry.
Oh, so that, I mean, that is solely for Scotland, isn't it? But you're saying that that would have an impact on England and Wales and Northern Ireland?
It will, because it must look at matters which occurred before the devolved administrations, because these incidents, the use of the blood happened before there was separate devolved administrations. So inevitably it must look at that, and I know that there will be implications therefore for the rest of the national health going back to those years.
Alistair, we may speak to you when that report comes out. I really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Conservative MP for North East Bedfordshire, Alistair Burt. It's one of those stories that just leaves me scratching my head. I'm dumbstruck. If you missed Nikki an hour ago, she was brilliant. I thoroughly recommend you go and listen to it on the iPlayer at your leisure. Oh, see, my voice broke there. At your leisure. 08459 455 555. Oh, what a surprise. There has not been a mad rush of penguin. Let me try that again. Oh, what a surprise. There has not been a mad rush of penguin. No, I did it again. Pigeon fanciers phoning up and defending the pigeon. Instead, we had some lunatic 10-year-old trying to compare them to the bird of peace, the dove. Dove.
I don't like pigeons.
They're disgusting.
But I don't think they should be crushed.
They're manky, horrible feet. Are they born like that?
No, I reckon that's through being zapped from sitting on things they shouldn't be. But still, just put yourself in that
pigeon poo on my car. That stuff is toxic, man. You can't get it off. You get it off, the paint comes off. Thanks, pigeon.
And if they've been eating berries, it's a weird colour.
It's just awful.
But is that the pigeon's fault?
You can make petrol out of that.
What, pigeon?
Out of guano.
Can you?
Yeah, well, not petrol, but you can fuel things. You can make power out of guano.
You can put it on your garden as well, but you've got to... Well, it's normally chicken guano, but you've got to let it rot down first, otherwise it will burn your plants.
You can put it on your toast as well. It's not very nice.
No, I wouldn't.
It's not very pleasant at all.
Janet thought haemophilia only affected males. Yes, Janet, lots of people think that. They're wrong.
I'd never heard that before, that it only...
No, I think it's more prevalent in males, and it's carried by females,
Nikki said that, but, it affects people of both genders, sexes.
Liam from Tring.
Morning, Liam.
Boasting, I'm double-jointed in my big toe on my right foot, so I can make my toe have two bends, I can make a popping sound when I move it. No, we're not doing things you can do.
No. Things you can't do that other people can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying, so I can't burp. I can't do the cross-eyed thing. I've got a weak convergence. It actually is a medical condition. I can pretty much do everything else. I'm pretty good at everything. I'm pretty good. Lynn's in Hazelmere. Good morning, Lynn.
Morning, Ian.
What have you got for us?
Well, during the war, the pigeons were really quite heroes. They might be manky old, dirty old things.
Pigeons were really quite heroes?
Yes, they were. They used to carry messages, coded messages.
They're like old-fashioned email, aren't they? P-mail.
They are, really.
Yeah.
But, I know they're a pain and there's hundreds and hundreds of them, but they are rock doves, actually. They're not... There's no such thing as a pigeon.
Well, no...
Really.
Hang on a minute, Lynn. Just listen to what you said. There's no such thing as pigeon?
Yeah, there isn't. Their proper name
I've seen them.
Dove. Yeah, I know, but they're rock doves.
No, they're pigeons. I've seen them. They're horrible.
Yes, I know. That's the common word for them. Yes, they are. A right pain in the bum. I have about 15 in my garden at the moment.
Shoot them.
No, I don't go around shooting things in.
You will do what this fella did. I wouldn't necessarily encourage people to go around stamping on them.
No, that's horrible and absolutely vile, and they should be arrested for doing things like that.
But if he did it to a rat, though.
Yeah, but no, not really. You shouldn't go around stamping on anything.
Oh, if a rat was coming towards my children or even me.
A rat would run away. It wouldn't come towards you.
Oh, have you ever been on the London Underground?
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them.
They come up to you.
Mm.
Well, don't accuse me. Both Lynn and Catherine accusing me of lying. Rats in London come up to. Have you ever done that thing? Right, my mum.
They don't come up to you. I watch them on the track. They're my entertainment. They're like a screensaver while I'm waiting for the tube.
Years and years ago, right, my mum's garden got overgrown and there were rats in there, and I saw one, a big one, right, and so I went up to it and did the. Oi! Get out of it! It just looked at me as if to say, "Do you want some? Do you want some, son? Because I will give you some." And I went, ooh, yeah.
They're clever. We used to have pet rats when I was a student, and they used to answer to their names.
The noise I made when I saw a rat was very similar to this. Yeah, and I ran straight back in.
Yeah, but that's because it took you by surprise.
Rats are very, very clever.
They're really clever.
If they've got something heavy to move, one will lay on its back, and they will roll whatever it is onto its belly.
Yeah, rats are so clever. That's why they're always in laboratories running around mazes.
There's more of them than there are of us now.
Get this, Lynn.
Ooh, that sounds like a fight.
Get this, right?
Yeah.
We had two rats, Benny and Bjorn.
Why would you name rats after a character from Crossroads and a tennis player?
Why not? Got to have a name, haven't they? Anyway, they used to answer their names.
That's my favourite joke I've ever done.
We used to...
Wasn't the best.
We thought, let's entertain them.
Though.
They're clever things.
Yeah.
You know, there's an intelligence in those beady eyes. Let's play with them. So we got a monkey nut and we fashioned a kind of, a teasing toy out of a monkey nut and some cotton. But the game was brought to an abrupt end. Do you know why, Lynn?
Why?
Because after about 3 seconds of teasing it with this monkey nut,
Tease me till I lose control.
the rat grabbed hold of the cotton, bit through it and stole the nut.
Yeah, see, they're clever.
I see, Lynn, I don't want to...
The rats that we had when my son was young weren't clever because, well, I suppose they were. We put them in the spare bedroom and...
You gave them their own room?
New curtains. Yeah, but they ate the curtains.
Yeah, I would be terrified of a rat stealing my nuts. Lynn, cheeky!
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A40 Western Avenue into London, it's very slow between RAF Northolt and the Swakeleys roundabout because of an accident. In Hemel Hempstead on the A41 southbound, it's very slow from the Hemel Hempstead turn-off towards the M25 junction 20 at Kings Langley. And in Oney on the A509 Western Road, that's looking very slow between Wellingborough Road and Lavenden Hill on the speed sensors. On the A1M southbound, it's very slow from junction 8 for Hitchin to junction 7 for Stevenage. And on the trains, First Hull trains and Great Northern trains are reporting 15-minute delays to London King's Cross, and that's because of a signalling problem at Welwyn Garden City. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you. 8:16, it is Thursday the 5th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she will finally get compensation. Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man on Facebook. And Hertfordshire Fire Service has criticised a hoax call in Stevenage last night to flats where 2 firefighters died in 2005.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Monday Night Sport is a sports programme unlike any other.
One thing about Monday Night Sport is it's not all about football.
Croquet.
Basketball.
Boxing.
Bowls.
Oh, you've done me there.
Yeah.
To do another one quick. While
Tennis.
I think. Tennis. The one where we were on water on skis.
Wakeboarding.
Wakeboarding, that's it.
Wakeboarding. So it's all these stories, it's all these people. It's not just the sport itself, it's the story behind the individual who's taking part in that sport.
You've been far too serious.
I am.
I mean, we make it a laugh, we make it enjoyable, and people who listen probably wouldn't ever listen to sport in their life, but they would probably listen to Monday Night Sport. We are like...
We're not like Gary Lineker and Alan Hansen.
No, we're not like that.
You can't win anything with kids.
I've got a touch of class about me, and then you just sort of pose around, sometimes coming up with the goods every now and again.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Three Counties Sport. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Ah, those guys. Those guys. When will they ever learn? 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call today. We're talking panthers. We're talking pigeons. No one's been able to phone it and defend the pigeon. There are some creatures on God's earth that we just don't need anymore. I suggest we don't need the pandas. We certainly don't need the pigeons. The pigeons provide nothing apart from anxiety, disease and poop. That's all they give us. 08459 455 555. What can't you do that other people can? We were originally going to call this disabilities that don't entitle you to a blue badge. Someone took offence at that. So, instead... what can't you do that other people can? I can't burp or cross my eyes. Kelly can't make people laugh. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. We've got any texts?
Let's have a look. Katya, if you're listening, can you give us a buzz, please?
Give us a buzz.
You've got a funny thing on your phone. And
Katya, give us a buzz.
Press like a hash and it's like scanning. I don't know who's been ringing.
Pakistani black.
He had no idea what that is, and I've got a very limited idea of what that was. We've got some emails.
Yes.
April Harper. Good morning. They're a right pain, pooping everywhere. Yuck. I think she's talking about pigeons.
Is she talking about pigeons or you two?
I don't know. Let's continue and find out.
OK.
I had a nesting pair.
Yeah.
It's us, in the garden. And their brood used to hang around right up until we got Lily. You've seen the picture of my huge cat.
Yes.
We feed Lily raw, so she likes fresh kill.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on. We need the music.
Oh, hang on a second. She feeds Lily raw? Do you know what that does to me?
I had a nesting pair in the garden and their brood used to hang around. Right up until we got Lily. We feed Lily raw. So she likes fresh kill.
Let's go to Veronica. Good morning, Veronica.
Morning.
What can't you do that other people can?
I can't do Roger Moore's eyebrow, lifting it.
Oh, classic! No, Veronica, neither can I. And I cannot tell you how much of my life I've spent trying to raise the one eyebrow.
Me too, and even more so, Elvis Presley's lips.
I
can't do that either.
I can do the lip. I can do it on the left. I can't do it on the right.
I can't do it either side, and my kids laugh at me all the time for it.
Really? And do you practice looking in the mirror even today?
Yes.
Good for you, because okay, this is another phone in. What do you do in front of a mirror? Because that's a great one, isn't it? That's a great one. Because and I tried this as a kid, and every now and then I go back to it. I try the eyebrow thing, and I'm thinking, is it willpower? Is it? And I hold down the right. I think if I could do it, Veronica, it would be the left one. So I hold down the right one, and I try, and I just cannot do it.
That's what I do, and you try pulling up the right one.
Yeah.
For me, it's the other one. It's the right one I think I could do if I really, 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 really practiced it.
Have you tried to get a blue badge?
Well,
for the car?
Yeah, they won't do it for that, I'm afraid.
Isn't it outrageous? Political correctness gone mad. Veronica, you're a good sport. I know you've got to shoot off. Thank you very much. It's a great phone-in, dear listener. What do you do in front of the mirror? That's a good one, isn't it, Just?
Oh, I like that so much.
Can you raise an eyebrow?
Just about, but
no.
with great difficulty.
My mum, God bless her, can wiggle. I probably can't do it now, but I remember as a kid, she could wiggle her ears.
Yeah, my husband can do that.
What?
Wiggle her ears. It was
incredible.
And as kids in the 70s, we were, TV used to stop at 3 and wouldn't start again until about 6. In those 3 hours, we would constantly be badgering my mum, going, Mum, go on, wiggle your ears. That's what we had.
When you see it done, it looks as if they're using the same mechanism you'd use to sort of yawn or swallow.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Maybe some of our listeners could actually send us a video of that, because I would love to see that for real, from real people.
I'll get my mum to do it.
Yeah.
You come round and meet my mum.
Fantastic.
In fact, you can just go around and see her on your own. Okay. She's a bit annoying.
I'll tell you what I used to do a lot in front of a mirror when I was a teenager, and I don't do it at all anymore. And I was obsessed with doing it in front of a mirror.
Here we go.
During my teenage years.
Yep.
Crying.
Hey.
Crying. Can I cry in front of the mirror? What do I look like? Oh, tragic.
Yeah. That's a typical teenage thing to do. Catherine.
Yeah.
We should be honest with the listener.
What? Starting when?
Starting from now.
Oh.
Where is that email that I sent you last night? Catherine.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, don't.
You don't want that?
Go on.
Where is it? What account did I send it from? I can't find it. Catherine and I tell you get it and you can read it.
I don't want to read it.
Well, send it to me and I'll read it. Catherine and I, Justin, last week we went to a college in Coventry.
Yeah, so I hear.
And we gave a talk to the youngsters who wanted to work in radio. We thought they wanted to work in radio, right? But then I posted a little thing about it on iainlee.com, my website, right?
Yeah, with a nice picture with the class behind us.
Nice picture with the class behind us.
Yeah.
Fresh-faced, wholesome youngsters.
And then people can comment on posts on my website, okay? And I have to approve the comment. I look at it and I go, yeah, we'll have that. No, we won't have that. And I'm sorry, I'm stalling because I'm trying to find it.
I've got it here.
No, I've got it. I found it. Do you want me to read it or do you want to read it?
No, I don't want to read it.
Okay,
it made me feel funny.
This music is
Not
very
in a good
appropriate.
way.
I did not approve this comment, right? So this is it's allegedly from someone who was one of the pupils at the talk that we gave. Okay?
I'm hoping it's a stitch-up.
Hi, guys. I was there because I was about to be expelled, but I do not want to make radio shows. I like radio and everything, but it probably is not the career for me. I'm probably going to be a dancer. I just want to get in touch with Catherine because we shared a moment. She will know what I mean.
I don't.
Gosh.
If you are Iain Lee, pass this message on, please. It's not weird. We had a adult-to-adult thing. Nothing illegal. I don't want sex. Unless she does. I am the dark blonde guy with blue eyes who rose and said he likes radio. Everyone's got a stalker at the moment.
Gosh, this is incredible stuff.
I was racking my brains about what moment I
The
had.
thing is, we were in the classroom in front of these young people all the time. We didn't have any individual conversations. Catherine sat on a desk talking, looking fine, and we had a moment. I love this bit. I don't want sex. Unless she does. What? He's a gentleman.
Oh, the people that you meet, eh? Rather you than me.
Do you want to come to the next one, Jess?
I didn't even listen. It's for moments, adult to adult or otherwise. I didn't even hold a door open for anyone. There was no moment.
Sure. Oh, dearie me. Now listen. You're like, we'll do pigeons after past, if that's all right, Just.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I tell you why. Because I thought you'd like this one, Catherine. Because you do this.
Oh, what?
Crack down on fairies in the forest.
I don't do this. We just have fairies in the house.
Be careful. Once upon a time. Hang on, we need to...
Don't mess with this magic.
We need some music, hang on. I like this music. No, actually, we'll have this. Once upon a time, there was a magical forest where elf-sized doors appeared on the trees and children flocked from far and wide to see them. The tiny Oh, hang on, sorry. There we go. The tiny doorways began popping up in a wood in Somerset 15 years ago, installed by grown-ups keen to fuel their youngsters' imaginations. But anyone expecting a fairy tale ending will be disappointed after the Woodlands trustees ordered a crackdown on the ground that the tradition had got out of control. These are these tiny little doors
that appear in people's houses.
That people, well, some of them are genuine. Some of them are genuine. I know the ones in your houses are genuine.
And at the bottom of the garden.
Yeah.
And in the playhouse.
And I've seen yours, and I've seen your tiny little door, and it is certainly genuine. It's a sight to behold.
Not only does that door tantalise my children, but it also helps them to behave.
It's a doorway to a magic kingdom.
Yeah, because something that people don't realise is that fairies don't like shouty children. So if the children ever give me jip, the fairies disappear. Yeah, they're on my side.
But some adults have been putting these in the woods that aren't magic, and the National Trust have got involved and said, "Oi! Get your tiny doors and take them back!" That's a bit mean-spirited, isn't it?
My daughter left a note for the fairies yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
She's disappointed with their service.
What service are they offering these days?
I'll have to tweet the picture later on, but she was disappointed with their wish granting ratios.
Oh, blimey.
She said, why on earth, when my sister and I wish for things out loud, aren't you granting anymore? She's had a reply.
Sorry, granting or grunting?
Granting.
Thank you very much indeed. Justin, we'll speak pigeons after the news.
No problem.
Thank you, my dears. 08459 455 555. What can't you do that other people can? Pigeons, aren't they just awful? And tread carefully. What do you do in front of the mirror? That's one of my favourite. That's up there with celebrity handkerchiefs. 08459 455 555.
For beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 anti-clockwise has long delays from junction 27 for the M11 towards 25 for Enfield because of an accident. On the M1 southbound, it's very slow between junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road and 9 for Redbourne, and in Luton on New Bedford Road. That's been partially blocked by an accident at Cromwell Road. It's causing delays from Bath Road. On the A1 Great North Road, that's looking very slow through the roadworks between the St Neots Junction and the Black Cat roundabout. And into London on the A40 Western Avenue, there are long delays between the Swakeleys roundabout and the RAF Northolt because of an accident there in the opposite carriageway. Samantha Breff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month means she will finally get compensation. Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man on Facebook. David Cameron has made what Downing Street is calling a final offer to take part in just one televised leaders' debate before the election. And Hertfordshire Fire Service has criticised a hoax call in Stevenage last night to flats where 2 firefighters died in 2005.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Chelsea remain 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League after a 1-0 win at West Ham last night. Second place Manchester City beat Leicester 2-0. Arsenal were 2-1 winners at QPR. Manchester United won 1-0 at Newcastle with a late goal from Ashley Young. Although the headlines this morning are about Papiss Cissé and Johnny Evans apparently spitting at each other. Here's Newcastle manager John Carver.
You can't do it, can you? I mean, it's one of the worst things in football, I think. But to be honest, like I say, I can't really comment on it. I just know there was a fracas on the halfway line. Obviously, I'm watching where the ball is, and like I say, I can't really comment on it.
Tottenham beat Swansea 3-2. The Swansea striker Bafatimbi Gomez says he's fine after fainting on the pitch in the opening minutes at the same ground where Fabrice Muamba collapsed. Gomez collapsed 3 times in 2009. Here's his manager Gary Monk.
We understand Baffy's history, but obviously we've done all the tests. He's had all the tests all his life, and all the checks and everything like that. It's just part of his life, what he's been through growing up, and obviously in his history. But obviously it's a scary thought when you see it. But no, in terms of himself, he's actually fine.
Liverpool beat Burnley 2-0 and Stoke beat Everton also 2-0. Watford have extended midfielder Ben Watson's contract until 2017 with an option for a further year. The 29-year-old joined the Hornets in January for an undisclosed fee. Watford remain third in the Championship after Norwich lost 1-0 at home to Wigan last night. Wycombe have appealed against the red card shown to substitute Matt McClure in the win at Tranmere on Tuesday night, 70 seconds after he came off the bench. Bangladesh have beaten Scotland at the Cricket World Cup. Bangladesh face England on Monday. And another top jockey is to quit the saddle. Flat racing's 3-time champion Richard Hughes is to follow National Hunt's AP McCoy into retirement. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
455 555.
Have me blue one
Three
down.
Counties Radio.
Have me blue fader down. You're right.
Right, no.
You've got sore fingers.
Right, I nearly cut my finger off the other day chopping some onion.
That's the state of your nails.
Oh, shut up! I was doing.
Disgusting.
I know.
They're all wonky.
I know.
What do you mean you nearly chopped your finger off?
I was chopping onion.
Yeah, your finger's still there, mate.
Well, it nearly wasn't.
It's not hanging by a thread.
I screamed.
Oh, yeah.
Because I sliced into it, chopping onions. Imagine that, chopping it. And I thought, gosh.
Where's the injury?
What do you mean, where's the injury? Look there, look at that, look.
Oh, you big baby.
It bled a lot.
Oh, dear.
It was very painful.
Yeah.
You're right, I need to go and do my nails.
They are disgusting. Do you ever get a manicure?
No.
Oh, I love a manicure. I love a manicure.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. It's I haven't had it done for ages. My nails are in a bit of a state. But I think it's so decadent. It's so
You've
wonderful.
got a bit of mud under that one there.
That's not mud. Got 2 young boys. What's on your show this morning?
Coming up on the big phone in this morning, it's the big story of the day.
Yeah.
I'll be asking, do you think David Cameron is clever or cowardly for refusing to debate with Ed Miliband? David Cameron has said he'll only do one televised debate ahead of the general election, and it must include 7 party leaders. This announcement rules out a head-to-head clash with Labour leader Ed Miliband ahead of the election on the 7th of May. The former Labour Deputy Prime Minister, John Prescott, has taken to Twitter to call Mr Cameron a chicken. Whilst Shadow Foreign Secretary Douglas Alexander says Mr Cameron is scared of debating with Ed Miliband. But with polls showing a majority of people still think David Cameron is a more credible candidate to be Prime Minister than Ed Miliband, I want to hear your thoughts on this morning from 9. Do you think David Cameron is clever or cowardly for refusing to debate with Ed Miliband?
He can be both, can't he? He's obviously being, I would suggest he's being very canny, because he is, I think, 3 points ahead at the moment. I'm not sure. So he's clever not to, but he could also be scared of being, found out, possibly.
The thing is, when you think back to it, it feels as if the prime ministerial debates going up to the election is something that, well, why wouldn't he? We should have this. We have a right to see him. But actually, I believe I'm right in saying Gordon Brown was the first Prime Minister to agree to this. Yeah. Because Tony Blair would never do it, would he?
No, it was only the last election, 2010, was the first time we had it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were quite dull, weren't they?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, really?
I loved all 3 of them.
I don't think the one with 7 people is going to work.
No, that will be dull.
That's silly.
That will be dull.
That's silly. I mean, what Plaid Cymru thing?
Exactly. I mean, really, it should just be between Cameron and Miliband.
Yeah.
That should be it.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be anyone else. You know, there shouldn't be...
You don't think Clegg?
No.
No?
But no, because it should be, and they should rebrand it, the Prime Minister debate between the two people who would potentially be the Prime Minister.
There you go.
Now, you know, of course, there may be a massive surge in support for UKIP or the Liberal Democrats or any of the smaller parties, but statistically, it's pretty unlikely that any of those men would be the Prime Minister.
What if David Cameron and Ed Miliband were filmed living on a barge for a month and they travelled the waterways of Great Britain? I'd watch that.
That would be very good.
I would watch that.
I'm sensing, though, and I'm no expert in this, but I'm sensing both of them might have a bit of other work to do.
OK, yeah, fair point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair point.
They're not unemployed actors or TV presenters. They've got quite a lot of time taken up with important things, you would think.
I hadn't thought of that. Fair point, yeah.
You know,
thank you.
Who's going to run the country while David Cameron is on a narrowboat?
They'll have BlackBerry.
Well, from 9 this morning, do you think David Cameron is clever or cowardly for refusing to debate with Ed Miliband? And how much difference will these televised debates make to the way you vote, do you think? We'll debate all of this morning. From 9 on 08459 455 555.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hey, Redfern! You know things are going bad. Jonathan came in and he said, how are you? And you're going to hate me, Catherine, and I feel bad even saying this to you. Do you know what I'm looking at on the computer?
New jobs.
Who was that?
Sorry, it was
I
my
wouldn't
son.
hate that. Well, go on.
Jonathan came in and said, how are things? I said, well, you know things are going bad when I'm looking at...
Are you on eBay?
Oh, yeah.
Get off eBay.
I've reactivated my account.
What?
I've put a bid on 2 things that I really want.
What are they?
That Monkeys thing.
One is a rare test pressing of a Michael Nesmith record, and one is a 16mm film of the opening titles of the Monkeys in Spanish.
What are you going to do with that?
Oh,
Not understand them. That's what he's...
You're so
Listen,
funny. Why'd you buy such pointless things?
What?
Well, what are you going to do with that?
I'm going to enjoy it.
How?
No, he's not. He's going to hide them because he can't get them out at home because he doesn't want anyone to know that he's spending his money on that stuff.
You don't know...
At least you're announcing it on the radio.
Yeah, well, my wife doesn't know that I do this as a job. She thinks I work in a bank.
Yeah, that would explain the suit that you change out of when you get here and put your joggers on. Stop it.
It's an essential part of who I am. And it's going to sound a little bit... Hang on a minute. Like this. Hang on. Are you ready? There we go.
That's Italian.
I
Might
think
be.
I prefer that one.
Good, isn't it?
It's not going to sound like that.
Well,
If it does, you've been done.
yeah. It's good, isn't it?
I like that. Because if you know a song inside out, why not get it in a different language?
Do you know what? I love songs. Tomorrow, famous songs in a foreign language. I love it.
We can't do it because it's Vinyl Friday.
Okay, Monday.
All right.
Komm, gib mit deiner Hand.
Yeah, I love that one.
Sie liebt dich. Justin?
Well, if you look at the Motown back catalogue, a lot of the Motown acts in the 1960s, they produced songs in about 5 different languages.
Of course they did.
ABBA did.
Big Buck.
ABBA did.
Big Buck.
And Petula Clark, I think, was known for that as well.
And Scylla.
Dun dun. So please.
Petula Clark is massive in France.
Yeah, exactly.
She
You
lives
see.
there now, doesn't she?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's so massive. She can't move out.
Anyway, Justin.
Yes, boss.
Le pigeon.
Yes,
Sur le pont d'Avignon, le pigeon, sir. What have you got for us in the way of the pigeon? If you do not mind sharing it with us, you naughty little boy.
You sound so good this
I
morning.
do sound good, don't I?
Good. Seriously.
Thank you, mate.
You are such a waste being English. Such a waste.
Oh, bless you, brother. Thank
That's
you.
okay. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
You've been talking about this man in the papers this morning who went to court for stamping on a pigeon. You think it's a complete and utter utter waste of taxpayers'
it
money.
is, totally.
I've been in Luton this morning. I see more pigeons in Luton than any other town I've been to. So I've been there to get some facts on the pigeons.
Okay, mate.
And also to find out if people love them or if people hate them.
Okay.
Some very interesting views coming up here. Here's what people had to say.
Thank you.
Now, sir, your job is to clean the streets. This area has just been jet washed. This is where the pigeons hang out. At the moment, it looks clean. How long will it stay clean for?
I would presume maybe 2-3 hours before somebody comes down and starts feeding the birds, and then obviously birds will do what they do after they've been fed, and then we've got mess everywhere.
So even though there's signs up saying don't feed the pigeons, people still come down here with food for the pigeons?
It's on a daily basis. We've one person that comes down the town, actually brings a trolley full of loaves of bread and just throws them all over the town.
A trolley? Somebody comes down here with a trolley?
Little shopping trolley, and it's full of bread, and they just throw it all over the town.
That is extraordinary.
So it costs the taxpayer thousands of pounds a year. This is jet washed every morning for that sole reason, for the bird mess, and there's no other reason for this to be jet washed every day.
Well, I'm now going to go and speak to the public to see if they love or hate the pidge. Thank you. Man to man, would you ever feed the pigeons in this town?
No, they cause trouble, that's why.
Do you think maybe we need to have some sort of pigeon gallery on Crime Watch for the trouble they're causing?
Yeah, if it helps. Yeah.
I hate them. They're like rats.
You don't find them cute?
No. They're pests.
So tell me your thoughts on the pigeons. Are they causing chaos here?
Yeah, they are. It's all over the place, even cars, you know.
I'm going to ask you a very deep question now.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Would you ever stamp on a pigeon like this man has? We're talking about this man in the newspapers today. Would you ever stamp on a pigeon?
Well, I don't know. Takes some thought, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Well, no, it takes some deep thought.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Not happy, mate, were they?
They weren't happy at all. I mean, the suggestion there from the first man saying that something should be done on Crime Watch, and to the last man there who really went away deep in thought about whether he would stamp on a pigeon. People don't like them, but whether they would kill them or not, that's a living creature. That is a different thing. That is, for me...
Cowards.
Well, it's going too far.
Cowards.
Yeah.
No, they're cowards.
Yeah.
If they don't do it, they're cowards, aren't they, Kenny? 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 Kenny?
Hello.
Hello, Kenny.
Oh, hello, Ian.
They're cowards, aren't they?
Well, they could be, mate.
Yeah. Kenny...
I mean, I don't like pigeons myself. I think they're flying rats, but...
Thank you. Kill them.
I don't think you should kill them, mate. But,
Yes.
I mean, I don't like them.
Kenny, what do you do in front of the mirror? Stick around, Justin. I might need backup.
Okay.
Oh, mate, you're going to love this one. We all must remember Happy Days in the Fonzie.
Oh.
How about standing in front of the mirror with your thumbs up going, hey...
Oh, do you know what? I caught Catherine doing that this morning, and I managed to record it. Here it is.
Hey.
You see?
Ah, mate,
Busted.
we're all at it.
You're right. It's one of the iconic images of the 70s. Was the opening titles of Happy Days. The Fonzie looking in the mirror, going to comb his hair, realising it was perfect.
He was the main man.
Is that what you do, Ken?
I'm still doing it, mate. When I was listening to your show this morning, I'm driving down the A1, I even look in the mirror and done it.
Kenny, thank you, mate. That's a brilliant call.
Top man.
Hey, so maybe we can get a little voxy on that for tomorrow, Just.
Yeah, no problem at all.
What do you do in the mirror? Keep it clean.
But in saying that,
mirror.
I've got to shoot off now.
Sorry?
I've got to go and meet Willie.
You've got to shoot off to meet Willie?
Yeah,
What's going on?
I'm going to meet Willie. Willie is the man who lives in Bedfordshire. His sheep was attacked just round the corner from Streatley, of course. The first sighting of the what we think is a black panther. His sheep has been attacked. Thankfully, it survived. The vet has said this bite mark, too big for a fox, too big for a dog. OK, if it's not a black panther, you tell me, boss. Come on, you tell me what you think it might be.
Dealey, you're having a go at the wrong guy. I know there's a panther out there, mate.
think you're being sarcastic.
With the greatest of respect,
Yeah.
I broke the story. I broke the story.
I am on my way now to meet Willie. I want evidence. You will hear that evidence on your show tomorrow.
Justin, I would love to get a picture of. I'd love to see you and Willie together in a picture. Could you get me one?
Yeah, I can do that.
Little
no
Willie
problem.
selfie.
Yeah,
good lad. Thank
Let
you.
me do the audio first.
Thank you.
Also, Justin, you might want to stay tuned because in about 5 minutes' time, I believe the pretender to your throne will be on, Katia.
Your nemesis.
And she's got a little something for us.
Oh, what's that on?
Wait and see.
Can you say?
Well, no.
Any information
I don't want to steal her thunder.
Come on.
You wouldn't like it.
No, mate. She's taking pictures.
Okay.
Thank you, Justin.
Cheers.
Ta-ta. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Sandy on the A1 northbound, a car's broken down between the Sandy roundabout and the Akbar at Georgetown Road, and that's causing delays. On the A1 Great North Road, it's very slow between Tansford and the Black Cat roundabout, and also from the St Neots junction all through the roadworks. It's looking really busy. In Luton on the A6 New Bedford Road, that's been partially blocked by an accident at the junction for Cromwell Road, and that's causing queues from Bath Road. And on the motorways, the M1 southbound's very slow from junction 10 for the Luton Airport Spur Road to junction 9 for Redbourne, and the M25 anti-clockwise is very busy round junction 16 for the M40. That's as a result of the problems on the nearby A40. On the trains, Virgin East Coast, Versatile Trains and Great Northern.
This is Virgin on the Ridiculous. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Sammy.
That's a new name. Virgin Trains East Coast. Have 15-minute delays.
Sorry, it's a serious point.
Into London King's Cross because of a signalling problem at Welwyn Garden City.
Anytime you're ready.
Thank you. BBC Three Counties Radio.
There we go, Sammy. 8:46, Thursday, the 5th of March. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A Hertfordshire woman who was given contaminated blood as a child says she hopes a report out later this month will mean she will finally get compensation. Police investigating the disappearance of a young father and his 8-month-old son from Luton appear to have been contacted by the missing man on Facebook. And David Cameron has made what Downing Street is calling a final offer to take part in just one televised leaders' debate before the election. Let's get the weather. Here's Elizabeth.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, good morning again. Temperatures slowly creeping up. We've got them between 0 and 3 degrees at the moment. We've got some clouds spreading in from the northwest as well. The best of today's sunshine will be through this morning, more like sunny spells through the late morning and then clouding over into the afternoon. But the air's going to get milder. It's coming in from the southwest. So we're looking at top temperatures today, probably up to around 9, maybe even 10 degrees Celsius towards southern areas. That's 50 in Fahrenheit. So altogether rather dry, quite a cloudy day, turning into a cloudy day anyway, and then staying dry and cloudy overnight too, but a milder night than we saw last night. Temperatures dropping no lower than 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, dry, cloudy. Where we do get some sunshine tomorrow, it will feel really very pleasant because the temperatures will be up to 11 or 12 degrees Celsius, set to climb just a little bit further for the weekend, so it will feel nice and spring-like, but there'll still be quite a lot of cloud around. That's the forecast.
After another mixed night of football for our local sides,
Saturday brings another chance to get 3 points.
Watford are away to playoff chasing Wolves.
Vintra's there again!
MK Dons are at home to promotion rivals Preston.
Still Carl Baker plays it across, and there's that goal that MK Dons have been looking for.
Luton host Morecambe.
And Luton Town have the second goal.
And Stevenage entertain Newport.
To the back post, Pets underneath it. Great goal by Stevenage.
Follow your team with Three Counties Sports.
Saturday from 2 here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
On FM, AM, online and digital radio.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
We got any texts? Hang on, let me try again. We got any texts?
Yes.
Go on then.
Yes.
Go on.
Yes.
Let's have the texts.
It's about pigeons.
Yeah.
Mick, we live in a sick society with idiots stamping on pigeons.
Oh, no.
Shooting and culling pigeons, different matter. Says Mick.
Well, right, yeah, OK. It's just a pigeon.
Bev says, leave the pigeons alone. They have every right to live. I'd like to stamp on some humans.
Do you know what? I hate these people that say, oh, look, we've got to look after the little doggies. and we've got to look after the little pigeons. But I tell you what, I'd kill some people. No.
Don't be killing anyone.
No. Listen, people are more important than birds and animals. Fact. Yeah, we should look after the birds and the animals. Of course we should. We should do our best to protect them as we can. But people are more important.
Okay.
Fact.
Ev in Luton's been on.
Morning, Ev.
There's a clue as to his true name.
Is Everard still angry with us because he turned up on Friday and we sent him away? We denied him access.
Everard is giving us clues as to what his name is.
Okay. Oh, go on.
His nickname is Minty.
Okay, so Everard.
Yeah. I wouldn't stamp on one, but I'd like to kick one. In the shape of them, I reckon they'd go quite far, look a bit like a rugby ball. Now, come on, this is all nature's creatures. Let's take care of them. We're custodians of this planet. No stamping on anything or anyone.
I'm sorry, I've just seen a picture that's really annoyed me.
What?
Kelly Jo Hearsey.
Oh.
Tweeted a picture.
Yes.
Millie. So we had Millie phone out, who's 10 years old.
Yeah.
And she had
a fine young woman.
Rubbish argument
Who
about.
pwned you?
She didn't pwn me, mate. She didn't pwn me. And if you keep on saying that, I will turn your microphone off.
Oh, that'll show me.
Millie, who took pwnership. Well, Kelly, you've spelt pwnership wrong, mate. So, there's a picture of Millie who took pwnership of Iain this morning, enjoying pigeons, which are, of course, the same as doves. Well, I don't know if Millie's your daughter, Kelly. I'm assuming she is.
Yes, she is.
I don't want to say it. Bad mum. I'm going to say it because she has allowed her daughter to stand near, what looks like a bin that's covered in poop, and then Millie has got 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5. Let's say 4 pigeons on her. Pigeons have got diseases. Pigeons brought the plague over.
No,
yes, they did.
No, it's hamsters.
Pigeons have got fleas. Pigeons have got manky feet and they wallow in their own poop.
They don't wallow.
And she's Kelly Jo Hearsey, who claims to be a professional photographer. Well, judging by the composition of that photo, you're not.
Rude.
She has allowed these pigeons all over her daughter. What's the number for social services? Let me Google it.
08459 455.
Iain, why are you being so personal? Is it because she's got you on the run? Yes, I think it is. I can see your running spikes.
I think I'm going to block. Yeah. Kelly then says in the next tweet, yes, I am a bad mum. She wet herself shortly after this due to overexcitement. See? See, Paul?
Oh, don't tell us that.
See, Paul? They're disgusting, aren't they, Paul?
Hello.
Morning, Paul. What you got for us?
I keep racing pigeons, Iain, and I think they're lovely.
Sorry?
I keep racing pigeons, and I think they're lovely.
Well, they're not lovely, are they?
Of course they are.
Well done. You're using pigeons as a slave, as one of the most base entertainment forms there is. They're an old-fashioned Nintendo in your book, so well done. You're making them work. But do you eat them when they're old?
No, they get a bit tough when they're old.
Have you ever eaten one of your pigeons?
Not one of mine, but I have eaten pigeons.
You would, wouldn't you, Paul? If things got tough...
If it got tough, I might.
Do you name the pigeons?
Not really, no. They've all got their individual numbers, the racers. So.
Which number do you think you would eat first?
I don't know, it's a bit like a Chinese, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Go. No, I bet number 4 is quite tasty. Paul, what pleasure do you get out of having pigeons?
Well, I send them off to races in France.
Oh, dear.
And when they come back, it's such a buzz to know that you've trained that pigeon and he's made his way back safely against all the hawks and the French shooting at him and people picking them and, so stuff like that.
Paul, thank you very much indeed. You're wrong, but thank you. Luann.
Morning.
Morning, Luann. What have you got?
I went to Venice once.
I'm so sorry to hear that. It's a dump, isn't it?
Oh, it was a bit smelly, but hey, it was Valentine's Day.
We all like a good smell on Valentine's Day, don't we?
And we were feeding pigeons because it's allowed out there because they give you little packs of food.
St Mark's Square.
St Mark's Square, that's right.
Done it myself.
Catherine, again, I've got to remind you, we've got another caller, we've got audio to play. We're running out of time here.
Can you stop doing this?
Well, then can you stop doing
Can you do this?
Oh, I can do it with these both. Yes, Luann, quick!
Well, I trod on the pigeon.
Yes.
And it got up again to finish the food because it was obviously so hungry so fat and so hungry it didn't get squished.
Wow.
But it's been a running joke from sort of then on because my husband proposed to me that day as well. So
did he? Oh God! What was he? Was the final thing that because he'd been umming and ahhing and then he saw you stand on a pigeon, he thought, yes, she is the one for me.
That's exactly exactly right.
Did it make a crunching noise?
It did, right underneath my foot, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Luann.
Still got up, though.
Luann, I would love to talk more about this, but Catherine's crammed too much into the show.
Robo-Pidge.
Katia!
Yes, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning to you, Katia.
Very, very quickly, I'm talking really quickly, because we don't have much time, but you are working with a legend. It turns out that's Catherine. She's a legend.
Oh, flip it.
Former pop star.
I know.
What is... I'll let you two do this. What is this, girls? What is it, a knitting pattern?
It's a chapter in my life I don't tend to go on too much about, but I was a pretty big deal in garage music. When I say garage, in my friend's garage, when we were 10, we had a pop group called Wow. It consisted of me, Fiona, Katie and Gemma. Although Gemma's the one who won't get together for the reunion, but she thinks that she's moved on.
Yeah, time's running out, guys.
Anyway, so we talked about maybe getting back together. Katia, you got excited about that, and it seems like you weren't the only ones.
Yeah, I know.
Shall I press play?
Yes.
Oh, blimey.
Hello, dear listeners, it's Katia, and today I'm reporting to you live from the main heavy metal venue in London, the Underworld, where I'm going to share some incredible news about an 80s band reunion with a bunch of metalheads. See how they react.
So we're all here today for Sanctuary. How excited are you about Sanctuary coming back together?
Sanctuary, real heavy metal. Sanctuary definitely is
not the
real
first time
heavy
I see
metal.
them, but yeah, it's gonna be like.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, it would be a 9, a 10, or
11 on the scale.
11.
666.
Yeah.
Right, but I've got an amazing news for you, right? Well,
Which
listen,
one?
There's another 80s band that is coming back together.
Which one? What's that?
That's Wow.
There's a song that's about to begin. There's a song that we're gonna sing. Yo, we're wow. Yo, we're wow. Sing it to the audience loud and clear. Sing it to the audience so they can hear. Yo, we're wow. Yo, we're wow. Running down the speedway, chasing on my ice cream. Yo, we're wow. Yo, we're wow.
My God, I don't believe that.
Does anyone remember the lyrics from Wow?
Running down the speedway, closing on the ice cream. We are wow. We love the wall. Yes, man. What's the best I will kill everybody to see this band again.
Of course, no one at the BBC condones any kind of killing, even in the name of wow.
I mean, really? We cut two excellent calls short for you to have a little stroke there, little ego stroke?
Katia does the work, then it would be churlish not to show it, wouldn't it? Katia, thank you.
Sorry about that.
Katia, you really have the worst taste in music.
What?
Do you still like Lordi? I remember you used to like Lordi.
No, it's not me who did. It's the other guy who did. What was his name? The one who was the correspondent for Lordi.
Oh, I don't remember. It's a life to go. Well, Katia, listen. If you do choose to listen to another radio station, you have my blessing.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
And if anyone else wants to make us something, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
How do they do it, Ian?
I don't know. They put something together in a computer and send it.
Have a go.
I wouldn't bother.
I would.
If it's that level. We got any texts? We've got a minute. Any texts to finish up on? And tomorrow we will carry on. What do you do in front of your mirror? Keep it clean.
Pam in Sutton Park, leave pigeons alone. They helped the war and won medals.
They helped the war. No, they did. I mean, well, they did, but only because we made them.
Roger.
They didn't. The pigeons didn't, in a sense of what do they call it? Not posterity, patriotism. Go, yeah, let's go and fight the Nazi pigeons.
How do you know?
We made them do it.
How do you know?
There's a statue in London for all the animals that lost their lives in the war. Oh, do me a favour.
They did.
What about all the
one.
animals
it's
that lost
freedom?
What about all the animals that lost their lives so I could have a McDonald's yesterday?
Well, that brings me to Roger's text.
Morning,
Chickens are
Roger.
just as disgusting as pigeons, but you eat them. You need stamping on.
I'll eat a pigeon. I've got no problems with eating a pigeon. Just stamp on it. Well, on that bombshell, that's it. That's your lot.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Bedford on Midland Road, the traffic lights aren't working at River Street, which is causing delays. In Sandy on the A1 northbound, it's broken down cars blocked the road between the Akbar and the Sandy roundabout, which is making it very slow. And in Luton on New Bedford Road, that's been partially blocked by an accident at Cromwell Road. That's causing delays from Bath Road. On the motorways, the A1M southbound has queues through junction 7 for Stevenage. And on the trains, Virgin Trains East Coast, First Hull Trains and Great Northern services to London King's Cross have 15-minute delays because of a signal failure at Welwyn Garden City. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. Oh, man, that's it. That's your lot. That was a rollicking roller coaster ride of, well, something, wasn't it? If you want to get in touch, you can. You can email Iain, IAIN.LEE at bbc.co.uk, or if you want to suck up to Catherine, it's Catherine.Boyle, Boyle, at bbc.co.uk. We're going to record the links now for the podcast. If you want to get the podcasts, go to iTunes. We'll be back tomorrow at 6. Until then, ta-ta.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon Smith. It's Thursday, it's 9 o'clock, and on today's Big Phone-In, do you think David Cameron is clever or cowardly for refusing to debate with Ed Miliband? David Cameron has said